hours to take advantage of 5 years zero-interest financing with nothing down. But listen, these are the final days. This aggressive offer ends on June 30th and will not be extended. So don't wait another minute. Get to Diamonds Direct now. Pick any item. Get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is known for. Pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. It's the smartest way to buy, and it makes everything more affordable. An $8,000 designer engagement ring is just $134 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, one-of-a-kind designer pieces. Everything's included. But there's one catch. This is a limited time offer, and it ends Tuesday, June 30th on approved credit. 5 years, zero interest, nothing down, nothing held back. Exclusively at Diamonds Direct.
The Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health understands how difficult it is to maintain healthy skin and how much this can affect someone's life. With the right combination of treatments and products, they can help you keep your skin looking healthy and more youthful, while also reducing and preventing damage. Take your first step towards healthy skin at the Med Spa at the Institute of Natural Health. Visit them at inhstl.com or call to schedule at 314-293-8123. That's 314-293-8123.
If you're like me, you've been spending a lot of time at home. You may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from CertaPro painters. They make your experience worry-free, starting with a free on-site or remote estimate. It's your choice. I did one from the comfort of my own home. It's quick, safe, and easy. You can trust them to get the job done right. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C.
News and perspective. Because every week is bringing changes. Nationally and locally. How do you stay connected? Tune into 97.1 FM Talk or visit 971talk.com for live streaming anytime. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what you're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
For goodness sake, sis, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
A U.S. appeals court has ordered a federal judge to drop the criminal case against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, as demanded by the Justice Department.
Well, that was a development. Good grief, man. I got to ask you, before we even get started on the show, I've got Katie and Ryan in here. Your guys' favorite current news story that's like top of mind? Like, is there anything that you're the most interested in, Ryan?
Oh, I couldn't believe that Bubba, I can't remember his last name. Is it Watson? Wallace. I keep wanting to say Bubba Watson because he's a golfer.
Yeah,
I couldn't believe that story from yesterday.
I've been staying far, far away from that story because I could tell something was off. Yeah. So we have not talked about that story. But yeah, that's crazy. What about you, Katie?
I'd have to say that one is pretty wild. And that and the Abraham Lincoln statue debacle that's going on right now.
What, that he was like the leader of freeing the slaves? And they're like,
and they want to tear it down at like 7 p.m. or something. I'm like, what is happening? Why?
None of those questions matter.
The rational questions.
What does that have to do with anything? I'm happy baseball is back. That might not be the most important story, but selfishly, yeah, let's bring baseball back. We're going to speak with Kevin Wheeler at 2:25, and he's going to lay it out there for us. 60 games, as I understand it, and we're going to get to the details of that with Kevin Wheeler at 2:25. Super excited, so you got to stay the whole show to find out what's going on, because that information is not available anywhere else. It's just going to be right here. So, you know, Tune in 97.1 on radio.com. You can watch us live, watch the radio show on our Facebook page, facebook.com/Annie Frey Show. And as we have just started in the last week or so, started streaming live on YouTube. Go to Annie Frey, subscribe to the channel. We're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers, and watch us there. You can put us on your smart screen. So I think the biggest story, two of the biggest stories, I had Flynn all queued up to be the biggest story. So let me read the headline here. Federal Appeals Court on Wednesday, that's today, ordered a lower court to allow the case against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn to be dismissed as requested by the Justice Department, likely ending the years-long legal saga stemming from the Russia investigation. The abrupt ending came in a 2-1 ruling and order from judges on the U.S. Court of Appeals for the District of Columbia. I'll go a little bit further here on the Fox News website. This was the result of an appeal from Flynn's lawyers asking for a so-called writ of this is why we have Zach Smith coming on here. Writ of mandamus? This first question I'm going to ask him is, so if I spell a word for you, could you say it for me? Do we need to have a legal expert on for vocabulary? Essentially, in order telling a government official to carry out a certain duty, directing District Judge Emmett Sullivan to approve the DOJ's motion to dismiss. I think that this is a huge deal that isn't even going to cut the news cycle on the majority of the news networks out there, which is why I want to talk about it first, because if you have been listening to this show, or if you've been having these conversations in your own life, whenever we're being accused as a Trump supporter of, he lies, everybody around him is going to jail. Flynn is like exhibit A for most of these people that he, did what he did, and he's going to jail and he deserves it. And just by association, Donald Trump obviously is just as bad as the rest of them. So that seems to be a card that's going to fall. And as I said, we're going to have a Heritage Foundation legal fellow, Zach Smith. He talked with us, was it last week a little bit?
Yep.
Mm-hmm. And he's going to come back on here and update us on what this actually means. So he'll break this down. If you have questions for him, you can comment on the Facebook Live or on the YouTube Live. And both Ryan and I are monitoring those, and if you ask a good question, we are happy to throw that into the conversation. So Zach Smith is coming up at 12:25. The other big story that happened after that, I think this is a big story, also from Fox News. Hundreds of National Guard troops mobilized to protect D.C. monuments amid protests. I think this is a huge deal. This is a huge step in the right direction. Hundreds of troops with the Washington, D.C. National Guard have mobilized to protect monuments in the nation's capital. Interior Secretary David Bernhardt requested the action earlier this week as protesters target statues and other historical markers during ongoing demonstrations in the wake of George Floyd's police custody death in Minneapolis at the end of May. So, Katie, when you are going to see the visuals of the National Guard out protecting the city of Washington, D.C., protecting the historical monuments that are there. And I will remind you, this is not a conversation about individual monuments, which one should stay and which one should go. These are criminal vandalists who are going around and toppling things that don't belong to them and defacing them, setting things on fire. That's arson, folks. That's crime. If we want to have a national discussion about the monuments that exist in our parks, in our cities, wherever we are, we can have that conversation, and it is going to have to be a case-by-case basis. Just want to be on the fly in the wall for the Abraham Lincoln conversation, because I want to hear the discussion and the justifications there. But, okay, Christopher Columbus, I don't think that statue necessarily needs to come down, but I'm willing to listen to people who want to explain why it is, and then we can make, and in Tower Grove Park, they did do it the right way, the quote-unquote right way, whether you agree with it or not. We didn't wake up one morning and find out that it had been spray painted and toppled and busted. They went and threw the people who run the park, and it came down. So, Katie, when you inevitably are going to see these visuals of the National Guard surrounding like an Andrew Jackson statue, what's your initial reaction to that? Are you like, yes, finally? Or are you like, ooh, scary?
Oh, I'm not scared. I think that that is exactly what this moment in time has led up to. This is what happens whenever people vandalize and they put graffiti and they try to tear down a statue themselves in a mob mentality. This is the outcome. You have the National Guard now going to guard these monuments and say, no, this is disrespectful. If you want to sign a petition, if you want to talk to local representatives, that's fine. And then a board of commissions can make a decision. But if you're going to do this the wrong way, this is what happens. And that's okay with me.
I'm totally, I think it's BA, in my opinion, to finally step up. That's the way it's supposed to be. You are enforcing law and order, and that has been absent. And if you hear all of the pundits who are talking right now, I read an entire transcript last night from Rush Limbaugh. I have heard Tucker. I have heard Sean Hannity. I've heard a lot of these pundits who come on to shows on other networks or in writing articles who are saying, like, right now, everybody's being allowed to do this. Nobody's is anybody going to step up? Ryan, does it scare you at all? Do you think it's a scary visual to see the National Guard in front of these monuments? Or are you thinking it's about darn time?
I mean, it's not one of those things that you like, man, I can't wait till we have to have the National Guard come out and protect our monuments, but it has to happen. The mob's not stopping.
That's not the reality that we're in.
Right. And that's where we're at. And I'm really glad it is starting both symbolically and actually in Washington, D.C., because that's where it should be starting. And that's where the most of our history and monuments are. And so they were just going to keep going, and you have to stop it at some point.
Listen to Mitch McConnell talking about the founding father statues.
Our founding fathers are being roped to the ground like they were Saddam Hussein. It's no surprise that people who want to say our country is intrinsically evil are so frantic to erase history that they'll break the law to do it.
Talking about how I've heard this several times, the founding fathers being targeted right now, and then other people talking about, I remember seeing the statue of Saddam Hussein being torn down. How many people around the world right now would look at a statue of Saddam Hussein and be like, take that down? You know, like, we're not erecting statues to Hitler, although I've heard people say that in order to remember our history as an allied nation, do we want to erect statues to Hitler and to help us remind ourselves of what took place? You know, I don't think that there is a direct connection from George Washington to Saddam Hussein and Hitler. Like, what conversation are we even entertaining here? Everybody has sins of their past. The thing that drives me crazy so much is, and this is with the Jimmy Kimmel thing too that we talked about yesterday, the thing about this that irks me so much is the hypocrisy. The suggestion that if a George Washington statue remains standing, that we are somehow embracing slavery. No, it's like the whole package. I'll put it to you this way. When you get married, depending on how much time you've spent with somebody or how quickly you learn somebody, when you go to take your vows, you say for better or for worse. Like, you're pledging, in my case, in front of God and all of the people who I love, who my husband loves, and we are basically agreeing to love together. You are pledging to that other person, I just need you to know that I'm going to have some really, really rough times. And there are going to be times where I'm going to be a really crappy person. But I need you to commit to me in all of the times. Whatever you love about me, there are going to be a lot of things about me that you're not going to like. But this is for all of the stuff. So if you were going to apply the mentality that people have towards these statues, the history, like this is some sort of marriage that we've made a commitment as a country, this idea, which is really in the documents that have founded this country, to limit government from overreach, to keep them at bay, because that's why we founded ourselves from the beginning. To suggest that anybody was ever perfect is ridiculous. Nobody has ever suggested that. Abraham Lincoln wasn't perfect. Ronald Reagan wasn't perfect. He used to be a Democrat. I'm just kidding. Trump, same thing. I mean, good grief, the dude isn't perfect. Nobody is suggesting that these historical figures were deities and that they have statues because they were flawless individuals. They did something in a moment in time that helped us become who we are today. So there's the question, folks. Do we hate who we are today? And are we blaming them for who we are today? Or do we love what we are today in America? And are we crediting them for helping us get here? That's the question. And the answer to that question is different for different people. There are people who blame these founding fathers for the creation of a country that they detest. That is why when I see the National Guard out in front of these statues, keeping people from chaos to destroy something that many, many, many people understand, regardless of whom they vote for. They understand that that is not the way you go about business. We need law and order. And if you don't like the way it is right now, elect different people. You'll see, I think it's Representative Engel in New York. There was a candidate, there's a New York primary yesterday. Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez looks to have soundly won her primary. But Engel is a high up Democrat in the House. He's maybe going to lose to a high school principal endorsed by Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. So if you don't think that people are not trying to go that route to topple these statues, you're not paying enough attention. The question is, what are you doing about it? Let's take a quick break. When we come back, we're going to talk with Zach Smith, the legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. We're going to get a 101 on what happened with General Flynn with that appeals court saying, yeah, you're going to dismiss this case. We're excited to talk to Zach Smith in just a minute. So stick around. Stream us on YouTube. Watch us on your smart TV. Load us up on your Facebook, on the Annie Frey Show Facebook page, and download that radio.com app. You can check out the podcast, rewind, all that fun stuff. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
The only person who can change your life is you, but you need to know how. Listen to my show, The Del Walmsley Radio Show, where the hype ends and the help begins.
Listen to The Del Walmsley Radio Show this Saturday afternoon from 1 to 2 p.m. on 97.1 FM Talk.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly with thehomeloanexpert.com. The housing market is really heating up and it's about to take off. Mortgage interest rates are sitting near all-time low levels, and that means you have a lot more buying power. Don't miss out on the home of your dreams by working with the Ron Mortgage Lender. We make the entire process easy and can get you in your new home in 14 days. Get pre-approved today with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
You know what? Losing weight is very, very difficult to do. And it's so difficult that I think that a lot of us make an attempt. You eat like salads 3 days in a row, and then you don't lose 10 pounds. And you think, why am I even trying? That's obviously not how weight loss really rationally works. But losing weight is such an emotional thing. Certainly it has to do with physical health, but it absolutely, for me, has to do with my mental health. That is why I love Slim 180. They help you lose weight, and they also help you lose weight fast. If you are interested in finding out what Slim 180 can do for you, if you're interested in finding out more about what Slim 180 was able to do for me, in my total time with Slim 180, I've lost over 45 pounds, and you can have success too. I know so many people who have reached out to them and had success, and I want you to join the club here. Slim 180 is online at myslim180.com, and you can call them right now to ask about their medically supervised HCG weight loss program or a traditional program that they have, the extra stuff that they have to go along to support you along the way at 888-754-6111, online at myslim180.com.
Yes, we are no doubt facing uncertain times. But as a realtor with almost 20 years of experience, I can tell you when someone buys or sells a home, it is always uncertain. A divorce, job loss, or selling the home of a loved one who recently passed. If you're thinking of buying or selling a home now more than ever, you need a realtor to help you through your uncertain times while saving you money. Hi, I'm Christina Straight, the owner of Straight Realty, and we do all of this for only 4%. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri. Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this. ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
Hi, this is Lance Drury with the Lance Drury Law Firm in St. Louis. I meet regularly with people who haven't filed tax returns in years. Did you know that if you have unfiled tax returns, you can be subject to jail time? That's right. The maximum penalty can be 1 year of jail time for every year of unfiled returns. So liens, wage garnishments, and bank levies should be the least of your worries if you have unfiled returns. Instead, you should get straight with the IRS and file those returns as soon as possible. This is true even if you can't pay what you owe. Call me today, Lance Drury, a local tax resolution attorney who knows how to resolve your tax problems before they turn into a prison sentence. And don't worry about not having records or receipts. The Lance Drury Law Firm can help you find the information you need to get the returns prepared and filed. As an attorney, I am trained to put pieces of your tax puzzle together for you. Remember, if you have IRS issues, you have legal issues. You need an attorney. You need us, the Lance Drury Law Firm. Call us at 314-238-7360 or go to Lance, DRURY law.com.
The choice of a lawyer is an important decision and should not be based solely upon advertisements.
Things are happening every day.
People need to stay informed. That's the most important thing.
For the latest on everything happening in your world now.
We're using the full power of government in response.
This is 97.1 FM Talk.
Tell me your troubles and doubts, given everything inside.
Just several weeks ago, we heard that the Department of Justice Attorney General Bill Barr, all the way at the top here at DOJ, wanted to drop the case, which really made it difficult to even go forward with the case because you have the DOJ, the prosecution, and the defense really on the same side. Then Judge Emmett Sullivan said, wait a minute, I want to kind of hear both sides here. I want to slow this process down. I want to hear your arguments. He has set a hearing for July 12th. That's when he was going to make his decision. But from what I understand, talking to experts just in the last couple of minutes, Ed, on the phone, that July 12th hearing could still go forward.
So that is the reaction to today's news of the appeals court recommending the case be dismissed. And, you know, by no means am I a legal expert on anything. I had a word before that was a legal word. I couldn't even pronounce it. So I said, Katie, who are we going to get? And she said, we got to get Zach Smith from Heritage Foundation, a legal fellow there. He joins us now to tell us a little bit about what is taking place now with this appeals court weighing in on the Michael Flynn case. Zach, thank you so much for coming on and educating us, and give us the 101 about what took place today with that appeals court ruling.
Hey, Annie, thanks so much for having me on.
Sure.
You know, today's decision from the D.C. Circuit is really surprising in some ways. I think it's the right decision, and I'm very excited to see that it came out. But it's surprising because ordering a lower court to take specific actions is an extreme remedy that federal courts are reluctant to take. They issued something called a writ of mandamus. It's a command to a lower federal court to take specific actions. And in this case, the D.C. Circuit said that Judge Emmett Sullivan, the district judge, his actions were so outrageous, so troubling, that they ordered him to immediately dismiss the charges against Michael Flynn, and they vacated his order appointing former federal judge Gleason to argue against that dismissal. And so I think it's the right decision. It's the one that's in the interest of justice. But again, it is an extreme remedy that really is shocking to see in some ways.
Zach, this is no pun intended, but this is deep state stuff. Why would the average person tuning into the Annie Frey show right now, the average American, whether they're left or right, why should we care about this?
Well, in the D.C. Circuit's opinion, I think Judge Naomi Rao, who wrote the opinion for the D.C. Circuit, she summed it up perfectly. She said, look, essentially what Judge Sullivan did is he appointed a private citizen to argue in favor of depriving another private citizen of their liberty when the Department of Justice, the people responsible for prosecuting crimes, has said they can't prove a crime here and they want to dismiss the charges. And Judge Sullivan, part of the judiciary, who isn't responsible for prosecuting crimes, essentially said, no, this case has to move forward regardless of the fact that the Department of Justice, federal prosecutors think that they can't prove that a crime occurred here.
We're speaking with Zach Smith, a legal fellow at the Heritage Foundation. A lot of people who, since of course everything is like the kind of soda you drink is political, a lot of people look at this issue and it is politics to them. And there's a group of people that needs Flynn to be innocent. There's a group of people that needs Flynn to be guilty. That has nothing to do with justice. When people tell me,
right.
Flynn still lied. Flynn still lied to Vice President Pence. Is that the case? And does that factor into the recommended dismissal here from the Court of Appeals?
Well, I think it's important to look at exactly what the Department of Justice is saying. The Department of Justice has to be able to prove the charges against Michael Flynn or any person they prosecute for a crime. And so if you talk to any prosecutor, they'll tell you, there's a big difference between being innocent of a crime and a prosecutor not being able to prove a crime. But in our system of government, the government has to be able to prove beyond a reasonable doubt, which is the highest burden under the law, that someone committed a crime before we're willing to deprive that person of their life, their liberty, or their property. And so what the Department of Justice has said here is that, look, based on the new information we have, we don't know that we can prove that Michael Flynn's lie or anything he said is material to an ongoing investigation, which is an important element of the crime that Flynn pled guilty to. And so based on that, DOJ said, look, we don't think we can prove it, so we would like to dismiss the charges, which I think was the appropriate move here.
Zach Smith, legal fellow at Heritage Foundation, on the phone with us. Zach, and you're kind of hitting on this, how does this case play into the larger things that we're all looking at with the Durham stuff and Barr and Obamagate or whatever you're calling it? How does this factor into the bigger picture?
Sure. And look, I think it's important to realize while the decision by the Department of Justice to dismiss the charges against Michael Flynn is based in large part on the fact they don't think they can prove the charges against him, they also noted some troubling irregularities in the investigation and prosecution. If we go back, it seems like forever ago now, kind of to when all of this stuff started coming out, we learned that the manner in which the interview of Michael Flynn was conducted, that was highly irregular. We learned that the standard warnings that FBI agents typically give to individuals were not given or only given in a cursory fashion to Flynn, and that potentially some exculpatory material, it's called Brady material, was not turned over to Michael Flynn's defense attorneys, which is very troubling if it in fact occurred. And so it kind of factors into this larger investigation to go back and to look at kind of how this entire investigation into Flynn and Russia collusion started, and really to make sure that proper procedures and protocols were followed throughout the investigation. And so I think that's encouraging. Attorney General Barr was right to do that. And hopefully we will see the results of John Durham's investigation before the end of the year.
Zach, one more question before we let you go. When I'm hearing your words here and saying that, first of all, you have to be proven guilty. You are innocent until you were proven to be otherwise. And
absolutely, absolutely,
which is so important. It seems pretty basic. I mean, I've been watching Matlock since I only had 7 channels when I was growing up, and I knew that then. But when you take that into account, and you also add in the question marks that surround the entire genesis of this particular case, and then you start thinking about the Horowitz report when the Inspector General released their report of a lot of the FISA conversations that took place. I mean, I guess you don't have the answer to this, and if you did, you'd be the most famous person in the country right now. But do we have quite a bit of concern right now about our Justice Department and what they're willing to do to try to make a case against someone who might be a political opponent?
Well, look, I think Attorney General Barr has taken a step in the right direction in appointing these separate independent U.S. attorneys to review, these very politicized prosecutions. And if we go back to today's decision, I think one of the encouraging things that came out of it is Judge Nami Rao, who wrote the opinion, made clear that each of our branches of government has a separate function. And one of the functions of the executive is to prosecute crimes. It's not the function of Congress. It's not the function of the judiciary. It's an executive function. And if the executive comes to the conclusion that it has erroneously prosecuted someone or taken missteps during a prosecution, they should be allowed to correct it. And in Michael Flynn's case, it took far too long, but essentially that's what happened. The Department of Justice looked at the case and said, look, we've made a mistake. We can't prove the charges. We need to dismiss it. And that's an appropriate corrective measure.
One last question before you go. Does drawing something out like this, is there a tactic that can be used to draw out, you do appeal after appeal after appeal or whatever, for political purposes? And I know that you're a legal fellow, you're not a political expert, you're not on here to be a political expert, but can
Sure.
these things be purposely drawn out because there seems to be some sort of political advantage to it, even though the people in the legal case might know the eventual end?
Look, the wheels of justice, unfortunately turn slowly in many cases. And I do think it's important to remember here, this decision today was issued by a 3-judge panel of the D.C. Circuit. So the entire D.C. Court of Appeals theoretically could still ask to review the case and review the decision by this panel. Hopefully that won't happen. But if that were to happen, of course, that would prolong the process and could potentially drag it out, for months, even past the election, which again would be unfortunate and hopefully will be something that would not happen in this case.
Well, Zach, thanks for coming on with us again. Great to get a legal expert on with us. I was going to say that word that I couldn't pronounce before was is it mandamus? Do you know
Mandamus.
that? Dang it. Gosh, I tried. I went out there. I thought I'll be bold. I'll take a stab at it. How bad could it be?
It was close.
It was mandamus. I knew it was mandamus the whole time.
No, that's not true. I figured if I took a shot at it, I'd sound like a genius if it was right, and I was very wrong. I had all the letters in the right order. Mandamus. Now we know. You'll learn something here along with me on the Annie Frey Show. Thank you so much, Zach. Great to have you on here.
Of course. Take care. Bye-bye.
We'll talk to you again soon. Heritage.org is the website. Wouldn't that have been terrible if he didn't know?
I don't know, Annie.
Legal fellow. Lego, he's just a fellow.
He's just a guy.
No, I'm glad he knew that. And he said it with confidence. So even if he were wrong, I'm going with it from now on. Like when I use that in conversation now, I'll totally say it right in all the conversations.
That's how you pronounce Bible names.
Yeah, you just go with it.
Yeah.
They're not going to correct you.
Yeah.
They're not going to come back and say, hey, come on. Show some respect.
Exactly.
Like Rodney Dangerfield. I am excited for our next guest coming on after the break. Tammy Lang. Remember was it a week ago that I had on the mask, the scarf mask that she created? I go to church with her and she has this business. She created these purses and the purse has a pocket of sorts where your phone can slip in, but the phone faces out so you can use your phone inside the purse, not have to take it out, which she made she was successful at doing this before a pandemic. And then when the pandemic hit, you talk about, you see those studies, it's like there are more germs on your phone than there are on a toilet seat. And you're like, bleh. So we're going to have Tammy on because she's also created these scarf masks, and you will go places that require you to wear a mask. I know that y'all don't want to wear masks, and I know that some of y'all are not going to wear masks. but some of you are going to, and you're going to go to places and you want something that's comfortable. I love this mask. And the reason why we're having her on the show today is because she is located in the Metro East. Her little business that she created called Save the Girls is in the Metro East. But yesterday she was on Good Morning America and had a massive successful day. And so I want to prop up a local business that is doing something here and relevant. So Tammy is going to join us with Save the Girls in just a minute, and I'm looking forward to it. Stream us on our webcam. You can do it at Facebook, the Annie Frey Show Facebook page. You can also do it on the Annie Frey YouTube page. We'll be back in just a minute.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show. Follow Annie on Twitter at Annie Frey Show.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Working more from home, so is your HVAC system. If your system needs service, Air Comfort Service will promptly and safely be there for you. Visit aircomfortservice.com.
Hey guys, Glover here from my friends at ARCA, Assisted Recovery Centers of America. So alcohol and opioid addiction is a huge problem in America, as you know. And with the coronavirus, it's become even worse. Just know that there is help right here in our community. Call ARCA at 314-645-6840 or visit arcamidwest.com. Everything is professional, everything is compassionate, and everything is private. That's arcamidwest.com for help.
I have about 7 projects at my house right now that I want to have done. I think being at home a lot more has made me think about that. And I have contacted Lakeside about at least 3 of them. And I'm just trying to get a ballpark because for me, I don't know anything about what anything costs. I do know that at Lakeside Renovation and Design, when you have them come out to your home, they do the whole thing the correct way. Obviously, if you're going to get a deck put on your home, they put the deck on and it's pristine and it's a wonderful product done with great service. If you're going to get James Hardy siding put on the side of your house, you are going to be stunned at how much it transformed the look and the feel of your home. If you're going to have a basement finished or maybe a master bathroom remodeled, you're going to be so impressed. You're going to brag about how great it was to work with Lakeside Renovation and Design, but you don't know until you reach out to them what it's going to cost. They have 18 months interest-free financing. That really changes the ball game in order to make your house more of the cozy home that you want it to be. If you're looking for a transformation, call my friends at Lakeside. You will not be disappointed. Online at lakesidrenovationanddesign.com.
Hey guys, this is Rachel from my good friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Most warranty companies will sign you up and then hope that you never contact them again. Or when you do, they deny your claim for lack of maintenance. You don't have to worry about that with Upkeep. At Upkeep, you deal with one home manager. That is your point person who is going to take care of everything for you. Upkeep comes out and will maintain your appliances and equipment 4 times a year. You know exactly who's going to show up because they don't contract out their work. And when they come in, they're not trying to upsell you. Let's face it, you probably already have a service plan or maintenance plan for your HVAC or equipment, but now you can have all of that plus your equipment covered for about the same cost. And the best part is now you have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment is taken care of and you're saving tons of money on your utilities. Log on to upkeepstl.com, check out everything they do, and mention the DGS and get $100 off the program. That website is upkeepstl.com.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting, 314-373-1598, Compass Retirement Solutions, 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
Home truly is your place of trust. Protect your investment with a free remote estimate from CertaPro Painters. Show us what you'd like painted from the safety and comfort of your own home. We'll ask some questions and add some expert advice. Then we'll provide a detailed estimate so you know exactly what you're getting and what happens next. It's all quick, safe, and easy. Whatever painting project you have in mind, your local neighborhood CertaPro Painters will do the job right. Start your remote or on-site estimate today at CertaPro.com. Proven and trusted experts in painting.
Take 97.1 FM Talk with you on the radio.com app. Available on your smartphone in the App Store. Take us with you and never miss the news and opinion from 97.1. Download the radio.com app today and stream us anytime, anywhere.
Lucy Lou, with my girl Drew, Cameron D and Destiny, Charlie's Angels, come on. Question, tell me what you think about me. I buy my own diamonds and I buy my own rings. Only ring your celly when I'm feeling lonely. When it's all over, please get up and leave.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Happy to be with you. You know, Katie and Ryan and I, every once in a while, like when the news starts to get real heavy, we'll do on the break. Usually come up with this 45 seconds before we're supposed to go back live. Find a good story to talk about. Anything good. And then our version of good. What was your good story last time, Ryan? It was not good.
It was something about
that,
like cancer screening in shirts. Remember?
It was clothing that would change colors.
Oh yeah,
when you were sick.
Yeah.
Oh,
when
yeah,
you were sick.
Sick. That's what
so that,
right. So you'd know when you were sick. That's why
I'd be more in favor of like mood ring clothing than I would be I'm ill and my clothes is going to tell everybody at the same time it tells me. Like
that's
disgusting. Yeah. It's blue. He's blue.
Whoa, your shirt is really dark right now. Are you?
Excuse me. What are you talking? Oh my gosh.
What about a shirt that constantly told you that you were feeling fine, but did it with audio? Like was just every 15 minutes. Yep, doing all right.
Annoying. Too much.
I think you should get one, Ryan.
I'll do it.
I think you should get one.
It'll yell during the show.
That'll help you make friends. That would be good. You stand in cocktail parties and just go up and you don't even say anything. Well, as I was saying, we like to bring on some positive stories and try to bring some positivity into your day. And that's why I'm really excited for our next guest here, Tammy Lang. She's the owner and the president, the chief executive officer, whatever you are, Tammy. You're also my friend. I go to church with you, and you have created Save the Girls. And yesterday, I mean, you've been all over. Haven't you been on Home Shopping Network with your products? Or
Yes. We were on QVC. We were the number one selling item that day on QVC.
It's crazy.
So, yeah.
And you're right here in the St. Louis Metro East, which is fantastic. And you were on Good Morning America, but I'm really excited that you finally made it onto the Annie Frey Show.
Me too. That's definitely my brother-in-law. He definitely wants your autograph. So I'm he's like, oh my gosh, you're on the Annie Frey Show. I need her autograph. I'm like, okay, I'll take care of that.
I don't know why, but that's like, it's embarrassing to me. Like, I'm like, you don't really.
He does. He's serious.
That's funny. Well, I would be happy to meet you.
We'll get it.
We'll make that happen for sure. So tell me a little bit about, I want to know about Good Morning America, but tell me first a little bit about Save the Girls. Why Save the Girls? Why purses? And eventually you've created these masks, which I have one, which is a scarf, and it's going to be a go-to mask for me this summer when I go to some places that require mask wearing. So just tell me a little bit the genesis of Save the Girls.
All right. Since you're local, I'm going to give you guys the local scoop on Save the Girls and how it really happened. So all within the same week, my daughters go to Metro East High School, Lutheran here in the Edwardsville area. So they were out hiking and they lost, my first daughter, she lost her phone out at Pierre Marquette on a trail. And honestly, we searched 3 days. She lost all her senior pictures, all her prom pictures, everything gone. Our family, of course, is one of those that don't back things up. And we could not find it. But then my younger daughter, my little redhead, she was 16. We were all looking for this phone and for 3 days, and she's got her jeans dirty, and so she threw her jeans in the wash with her phone in it. So 2 iPhones gone in the exact same weekend. I was really frustrated by that, and so that weekend I was complaining with my sister-in-law, and I said, about these girls. She said, "Oh, I never lose my phone," and she pulls it out of her bra, and she had breast cancer. And I was like, this is ridiculous. So I went online to buy something for everybody. Like I thought, I'll just get something. I couldn't find anything. And the next day we went canoeing because we were at a family reunion. We went canoeing, and I could text to a waterproof bag. And I thought, why don't I put that in the backside of a purse? And I did a lot of Facebook polling right at that time. And you might have been one who asked some things on my Facebook polling to see, is this something somebody wants to do? So I quit my job of 25 years, all of our money, threw it into Save the Girls touchscreen purses, called it Save the Girls. We donate 10% to breast cancer research in my sister-in-law's honor, because I wouldn't have probably gone this far. But I threw my designs up on a website. I had 17 factories bid on me literally the next day. So all of this happened within a week. And then I'm like, I guess I'm launching a purse company, and it was insane. So the first month, like it was October that I got product, and I had the idea in July, got some product in October, sold $590, and then in November sold $22,000, and then in December sold $44,000, and then in January sold $90,000, and it's just been like this wild roller coaster ride ever since then. And people love the product. It gives you a place to put your phone that you never lose it. You can do all your touch screen from the backside of your purse. So you're not laying it in a grocery cart when you're at the store. You're not, when you do go find food near me or whatever, you can just do it right through the backside of the purse. You can answer the phone.
I do
so
all
of that. So yeah, so that's how Save the Girls kind of came to be. And then since that time, it's been, we were out of my basement for about 6 months. And then we moved over to Belleville. And so we have a place here in Belleville where we have all of our products, and we ship the products and things like that.
It's such a good story because, the genesis of it, it's taking something that happened that was bad. And I've had, as a mom, I've had those weekends where you just keep taking the licks, and it's like, but to have the idea and also, I personally believe there are God things that are involved in that, but you were kind of set on this course of events where, like, you get knocked down, you get knocked down again, you get knocked down again. You have the opportunities presented, the idea pops in your head, and you took a risk and you went with it. And now, when in the middle of a pandemic, when I'm looking at these purses, I'm thinking this is keeping my, easy to wipe down. And it's also keeping the purse or the phone cleaner. It's a more sanitary situation. You have also seen the need out there for face coverings of sorts. And I have gotten some of these. I'm going to put one of them on right now, but tell me a little bit about what you have developed here in the way of face coverings for women who are maybe looking for some alternatives than the standard disposable mask.
Yeah, so the first thing that I did when the pandemic hit, of course, all of our stores, we're in 2,500 locations and they all closed down. So that went to zero. But I saw the need for medical masks, and it was crazy, nurses on television saying, we can't get masks. So I actually first went in and I got some medical masks, and we were able to give them to some nursing homes and different places like that at our cost, basically, for those masks. So we did that at first, and I thought, wait a minute, this is going to go to where everybody's going to need a mask. So maybe I can come up with something more comfortable. And so, yes, Annie has on right now our pink floral mask.
Yes.
And it's very comfortable, isn't it? Like, you can actually talk through it. And
yes, I'm talking through it right now.
Than a regular one.
Yeah, it's really kind of, I wore it to church on Sunday because finally able to get back in church. We've gone from 1 service to 3 services, and we're all spread out everywhere, but it's great to be back in church. But they have said we would like for everybody to wear masks. It's a courteous thing to do. So I wore my Save the Girls mask there. My daughter wore one too. And I didn't know this until she put it on, but it has adjustable things on the ear as well. So I think it's a great solution. And if you're listening to us on the radio right now, I am talking through this mask at this point. And I think it's fantastic. And again, I want to stress to everybody, Tammy is my friend. And I said, we go to church together, and I have watched her through my own personal Facebook feed, grow and grow and grow this business. And I've just been in awe of it. And you're talking to Howie Mandel, and you're on the Home Shopping Network, and you're on Good Morning America. And I wanted to make sure that I could vet you through all of those people before I have you come on the Annie Frey Show. I've just been watching you explode, and it's so fantastic. The product is great. Katie has a question for you. Katie, go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, Tammy. So
Hi.
I just wanted to speak with you because it's not often that you can find a mask that is fashionable like the ones that you've created, but it's also not often that you find one that's fashionable and comfortable and lightweight. So I just wanted to see, like, what was the material that you're making this out of? And is it very lightweight? Does it get really hot and sweaty underneath it? Because that's a problem that I have with masks, and that's a problem
Katie's
that a lot
real
of
sweaty.
I'm sweaty.
She just walks around.
And many
I
of my
did
other
not
girlfriends
wear-
have that same
That's
issue.
gross.
It gets hot under there, and I'm breathing, and it's just ugh.
So it is a blended material. It's not 100% cotton because I wanted it to also retain its shape. So it has it's polyester and cotton blend, but it is very light. I did that on purpose. And back to the masks, the reason why I came out with this, I thought, well, we did something a little different with the touchscreen purse. Why should I do a regular mask? Let's do something that's a scarf mask that then can be worn as a fashion. Because when I go in a store, or when I go out, you forget to put on the mask. So now I just put it around my neck and wear it as a scarf and then go out. So I did purposely make it very lightweight. And it's small, but it looks huge. Like right now, Annie's wearing it. And it really covers your whole front and everything, but you can tie it back and make it less. So there's different ways you can wear it.
I like to wear it because it's got 2 layers in the bottom. I like to wear it so that I tie it around my neck, and then it kind of looks, it's like a little like an ascot, but I wore a nice yellow sundress to church on Sunday, and I wore a mask, and I thought it looked cute. I actually was like, this is a good accessory. So again, we're gonna put this up on our website at 971talk.com/Annie. A local business that has gone global, and we are so excited for you, Tammy. Save the Girls. Go online. Is it savethegirls.com? I think
it's savethegirls.com. We still have our Good Morning America special out there. So it ends tonight at midnight. So on Good Morning America, it's gma.com. For that, there's 3 styles. I think we're almost sold out of 2 of them, but they do have still some on there. And that was just a fun opportunity. It really helped us. I want to tell you, Annie, because I know you do different things about different programs that the government has had, et cetera. But you know how they had the SBA loan or whatever?
Yes.
They started rationing them. And so we got 40% of our SBA loan, which is really bad in retail because you have all this product coming in and we didn't sell anything for basically 3 months. So it's a really tight cash situation. And so GMA was just absolutely fantastic. We sold over 15,000 purses just yesterday.
All right,
Yeah.
Annie Frey Show listeners, you know what to do.
16,000.
16,000. You have until Friday. All right.
Yeah, no, only till midnight tonight on the GMA show. But the regular site, we're up every day, and we have our scarves on there. They're only doing 3 purses on the GMA.
That's so
site.
great.
So we couldn't
Tammy,
talk them
thank
into
you.
scarves.
We'll sell some for you. Tammy, thank you. Great to
Thank
talk
you.
to you. Go to
Thanks.
savethegirls.com.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Absolutely. Savethegirls.com is the website. If you're interested, I can highly vouch for the people behind this great product. We'll be back in a minute.
As your employees are transitioning back to work, you want to provide a safe environment for them to work in. Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning has been servicing buildings and facilities throughout the metro for over 20 years. Jan Pro offers a range of disinfecting services that can eliminate 99.9% of germs that spread common illness and contagions. Has no adverse effects to the environment, staff, or visitors. For a no-obligation quote, contact Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com. That's jan-pro.com. Commercial cleaning for your office or facility. It's Jan Pro Commercial Cleaning at jan-pro.com.
Thomas Helbig of the Retirement Advisory Group is the guy who you want in your corner when it comes time to prepare for retirement. I'm 36 years old. I'm going to see a lot of ups and downs in the market as I save, and try to provide a living for myself decades away from where I am right now. You might be able to see the proverbial light at the end of the tunnel for your retirement. You have to have a guy like Thomas Helbig in your corner who can help set you up for this new phase of retirement savings. He's the pro. He knows what he's doing. He has worked with so many Annie Frey Show listeners. He's worked with so many 97.1 listeners over the course of time. He is a great supporter of 97.1. And those are just a few of the reasons why I want you to reach out to him at 314-993-9494. 314-993-9494. He has never had a client lose a penny. Save your retirement with Thomas Helbig by calling him at 314-993-9494 or visit him online at retirementkey.com.
This isn't our first flip.
And sure, some renovations can require a bit of compromise.
But there's no settling at Floor & Decor, where we always find the perfect floor at the perfect price.
That's because at Floor & Decor, they have the selection she needs to fulfill her vision.
And he gets in-stock products at budget-friendly prices, all in one trip.
Plus, we get the installation materials we need to get it done right.
And right on time.
It's a win-win. Now that's shopping like a pro.
Explore Floor & Decor in person or online at flooranddecor.com.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
Whether Americans will be allowed to travel in Europe once border restrictions are eased next week because of the high number of coronavirus cases in the U.S. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo discussing the issue today at the State Department.
It's important for the United States to get Europeans the capacity to travel back to the United States. Is important, very important for the Europeans to fully reconnect with the American economy as well. I think leaders all across those two places understand the importance of this.
Europeans are still restricted from entering the U.S. because of COVID-19 concerns. A new travel restriction in place within the country because of the rise in coronavirus cases. Officials in New York, New Jersey, and Connecticut say anyone traveling from states with high COVID-19 infection rates will be subject to a 14-day quarantine. A crackdown on some demonstrators expected from the White House this week.
President Trump is expected to sign an executive order by the end of the week aimed at protecting national monuments. The president yesterday in a tweet said that he's authorized the federal government to arrest anyone who vandalizes or destroys any monument, statue, or other such federal property in the U.S. with up to 10 years in prison per the Veterans Memorial Preservation Act. The president indicating that the action may also be used retroactively for destruction or vandalism already caused.
Fox's John Decker at the White House. National Guard troops have been deployed in the nation's capital to protect monuments. A federal appeals court today ordering the dismissal of the criminal case against President Trump's former national security advisor, Michael Flynn. The court ruling the Justice Department can abandon the case, even though Flynn pleaded guilty to lying to prosecutors in the Russia probe. Ask your Amazon smart speaker to play the news from Fox. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies with us this afternoon. Nice temperatures, below average temperatures, 82, and the humidity levels are easy to take. Tonight, clear skies, 63 for the overnight low. Then on Thursday, beautiful morning, lots of sunshine, but it's a little warmer, a little more humid in the afternoon. Still not bad, 89 for the high Friday. It's all about summertime, hot and humid, maybe a couple of spot thunderstorms. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Stewart's American Mortgage online at stewartsamc.com. Stewie is, I really enjoy Stewie. Like, I know him personally. I know the guy who you're going to talk to when you call about your refinance, or if you're making a home purchase, you're going to talk to Stewie. And I can vouch for Stewie personally. He is a good dude, and he really has created Stewart's American Mortgage centered around you. He is able to do things that you can't get done in anywhere else, even though other people will talk a big game. What Stewie has done is he set up an entire model where the customer service is directly a party of him. And he's got the Bank Buster loan, which is the newest thing that he has at Stewart's American Mortgage. 30-year loans. I think you can even do them 15-year loans under around 3%. The rates are stupid ridiculous right now, and you do not want to miss out on this opportunity. For a refi or purchase, you can go to Stewart's American Mortgage, you can get the Bank Buster loan, and you can save so much of your own hard-earned dollars. You can also, as always, get the Bagel loan. Reach out to him, ask him how he can help you. 314-324-4440, 314-324-4440, stewartsamc.com, NMLS number 226715.
Did you know that June is Garage Door Safety Month? Show the largest and heaviest moving object in your home some extra attention. For the month of June, Overhead Door Company of St. Louis is offering a safety tune-up special for just $89.95. Don't trust just anyone. Call the experts that revolutionize the industry. Go to overheaddoorsstlouis.com today and schedule your appointment. Overhead Door Company of St. Louis, the genuine, the original. Online at overheaddoorsstlouis.com.
Are you tired of feeling sick and tired? I'm Dr. Nick Barnes of Health from Within Family Chiropractic. Our simple 5-step approach aligns your health naturally. We correct spinal abnormalities to maximize nerve supply, focus on pure and simple nutrition, exercise and oxygen, mindset, and minimizing toxins in your body. Transform your health today with Health from Within, conveniently located on Manchester in Rock Hill or online at healthfromwithinstl.com.
Lift, move, level, pier, foundation replacement, EHM is here.
For your home, it all starts with a strong foundation. EHM adds value and livable space to your home. Whether it's turning your crawl space into a basement, elevating your home after a flood, or fixing bowed and cracked walls in an older foundation, call 314-384-4210. EHM can put a brand new engineered basement under your existing home. So stop throwing money at patches for your foundation problems. Total foundation replacement can cost the same or even less than a quick fix repair. No more water, no more cracks. EHM, serving the Midwest since 1994 with 3 generations of experience. Visit ehmmidwest.com or call 314-384-4210.
Lift, move, level, pier, foundation replacement, EHM is here.
Hey guys, Glover here for Foundation Recovery Systems. While the pandemic has put so much on hold right now, Foundation Recovery Systems knows the seasons don't stop. That's why we're making it possible to defer payments on your foundation, basement, or crawl space repairs. No cash up front, no interest, and no monthly payments for a whole year. So if you're working in the yard and notice cracks in the wall or bricks, give us a call. If you're inside with allergies getting worse and notice musty smells and moisture coming through the crawl space, give us a call. And if your basement floods every time it rains, then definitely give us a call. Because damaged foundations don't fix themselves. Set your home straight and put your mind at ease today, and don't pay until next year. Our team of experts follow CDC safety guidelines and can help. Go to foundationrecoverysystems.com to schedule a free, no contact, no obligation inspection and get up to $500 off your project. That's foundationrecoverysystems.com. Foundation Recovery Systems. There's a reason we've been around for so long.
The easiest way to listen to 97.1 FM Talk is by announcing it. Hey Siri, hey Alexa, play 97.1 FM Talk on your smart speaker or on your phone. Connect anytime at radio.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
All right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not
For goodness sake, kid, keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio. I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
This week it's Robert E. Lee. I noticed that Stonewall Jackson's coming down. I wonder, is it George Washington next week? And is it Thomas Jefferson the week after? You know, you really do have to ask yourself, where does it stop?
Okay, well, I'll tell you where it stops. Somewhere. Anytime someone asks, where does it stop? The answer is always somewhere. You might let your kid have Twizzlers, but not inject black tar heroin. You don't just go, well, after the Twizzlers, where does it stop?
John Oliver in 2017 reacting to the president's comments about, who knows, George Washington and Jefferson are going to be next. Wouldn't that be crazy? John Oliver suggests that that is comparative to injecting black tar into your veins. Okay. John Oliver is also, if you're ever feeling down and you want to go on YouTube and look at a montage of election night in 2016, and then you feel great after you watch that, they put great like orchestral music behind it, and you watch the slow and steady meltdown of all the people from their elitist pillars, just so forlorn over what was transpiring. John Oliver is one of my favorites, where he was talking about the idea that Trump was suggesting that he might run, and he goes, do it. You remember that? When he was like, do it. He wants to donate to his campaign. It's so egotistically arrogant. Katie and I were just having a conversation about a different person who we follow on social media, and we're like, is this person really confident or really arrogant? Because we both agreed confidence is the most attractive feature in a human being, and a man or a woman, in my opinion. Arrogance is the least attractive thing. And that's the thing that's so frustrating to me about the way a lot of this leftist media reacts to whatever is going on in the world. It's all about the arrogance of their elitist position over you. And I'm sick and tired of it. I want to get our guest on. Deroy Murdoc joins us. He's a Fox News contributor and a weekly guest on the show. Excited to have you back, Deroy. How are you doing? Good to have you.
Annie, great to be on with you.
So you've written this an article here, and you're reacting to the war on statues. I have to say, I've been trying to be as giving as I can on this issue. If somebody wants to talk about a Robert E. Lee statue, I'm interested in engaging in the conversation about where that statue belongs. But to me, what is taking place around our country, there is no conversation happening about many of these statues. They're being criminally destroyed. And in many cases, in Washington, D.C., we saw today that they sent in the National Guard to defend the public property that is there. I mean, where is law and order? And you know, we got to establish that before we can even talk about which statue should go where.
Well, I agree mainly with what you're saying, but I disagree on one part, that there's no conversation there. There is a conversation on this. For example, Erin Thompson, she's a professor of art crime. I guess that's the thing.
Art
John
crime.
Art crime. Isn't it interesting? So she studies people stealing art, destroying public art, etc. And this is her specialty as a professor of law at the John Jay College of Criminal Justice here in New York City. And on June 10th, as some people were attempting to pull down the statue of Christopher Columbus outside the Minnesota State Capitol, she went on Twitter. Again, she's a professor of art crime, and she said the following: "I'm a professor who studies the deliberate destruction of cultural heritage, and I just have to say, use chain instead of rope, and it'll go faster." So there's a conversation about whether chain or rope is a faster way to bring down a statue. So there is a conversation involved here. Yeah. But taking it a little more seriously, look, I think it's totally appropriate to have a discussion about should the Robert E. Lee statue or the Stonewall Jackson statue in X city or X state stay up? Should it be in a museum? I believe these statues are a huge part of our history. They should stay there so people will know that we had a Civil War and there were people who owned slaves. This is a very important part of our history. We shouldn't erase it. We should confront it. One thing to do is leave the statues in place, and I call it bronze plaques matter. You put a bronze plaque in front of these statues and say, this is a statue of Robert E. Lee. He was put up there in glory in previous times. You should know that he owned slaves. He defended the slave-owning Confederate Confederacy. And after he finished losing the Civil War. He went on to be a university, run a university at Washington Lee in Virginia, and actually was, I believe, in favor of educating black kids in Virginia. People don't usually talk about that. So in almost all of these cases, these people are monstrous in some ways, and they have something positive to offer on the other. Beauregard, who was a statue of his was brought down in New Orleans shortly after the Robert E. Lee statue was dragged down. He was a Confederate general. When he got out, he was in favor of having blacks vote in the South. He raised money to educate black kids. He started the streetcar system, which is beautiful down in New Orleans. So, I think you want to learn about the good, the bad, and the ugly. I'm sure there are positive people who were part of the Union Army who did ugly things. You learn all about these people. They're positives, they're negatives, and what's in between. And that's how we learn about the humanity of these people, what they went through that might be reflected on our time today. If you yank them down, that history disappears. If I were with Black Lives Matter, I'd want those statues to stay up so you could point to these statues and say, see, there's a slave owner, there's a previous slave owner, this is part of our history. You take them away, and this, 50 or 100 years, people forget that we had slavery if you take away the evidence of this. And if it were just the Confederate statues, that would be one thing. We've moved very quickly past that to yanking down statues of Ulysses Grant, who defeated the Confederacy. There's a plan tomorrow to yank down a statue which was paid for by donations of freed slaves to honor President Lincoln for emancipating the slaves. And I believe at the dedication of that statue, the guest of honor who gave the keynote speech was none other than Frederick Douglass, the famous former slave and black abolitionist who dedicated that statue. They want to yank that down tomorrow. I hope that the Park Police and others and also decent citizens surround that statue and keep that from happening. Sean King, who's one of the founders of Black Lives Matter, one of their big spokesmen, he said this via Twitter on Monday, and I quote, "I think the statues of the white European they claim is Jesus should also come down. They were a form of white supremacy. All murals and stained glass windows of white Jesus and his European mother and their white friends should also come down." So it started off with Robert E. Lee, and now next on the list, Jesus of Nazareth. Absolutely incredible. And this needs to stop. These people need to be arrested. President Trump issued an executive order saying that they would be prosecuted under a law that bans the attacks on monuments on federal property, jail term of 10 years. I think that's perfectly appropriate. I want to see mass arrests. I want to see these people, if they do this, thrown in prison for 10 years where they can learn some manners.
Deroy, in light of the news today that the National Guard is going to be deployed in D.C. to protect our nation's monuments and statues there, in cities, though, where Democrats are in control, the National Guard maybe not playing as big of a role in a city like St. Louis, and all of the other cities too, because Democrats control basically all the major cities of this country. Is it possible that we're going to see these leaders continue to kowtow to these protests, or these vandals, I should say, at this point, and that we're not going to have statues and monuments left in cities?
It's entirely possible. Look, the Democrats seem very content with this. I've not heard any major Democrat say, stop it and leave the statues alone. They've been incredibly silent about this. I've not heard, now if they've said anything, maybe they have and I've missed it, but I've not heard a peep out of Biden. I've not heard a peep out of Schumer. I heard Nancy Pelosi say today that she blamed Tim Scott and the Republicans for killing George Floyd, which is an abominable, disgusting, hideous thing to say. She's been busy taking down wants to take down statues and portraits of various Confederate figures in the U.S. Capitol. She's been in Congress since, the 1970s, 1980s. She's been Speaker for years. Why suddenly? Why is she doing this now? Why did she do this years ago? The reason is the Democrats are thrilled by this. This is a way of energizing the black vote, or so they think. They believe that if there is a focus on racial tension and all that, that will get more black people to turn out at the polls in November and save the Democrats bacon. And I think that's exactly why they're doing this. I think it's that cynical. I think it's that disgusting. And it should prove to people that the Democrat Party has become a force for evil in this country. It's a sad thing to say, but I think it's incontrovertible. Just today, they had the opportunity to bring Tim Scott's police reform bill onto the Senate floor. So we actually could begin to have legislation that addresses excessive force, police brutality, all these things we've been talking about since the George Floyd killing. And the Democrats voted against the motion to proceed. It will not be on the Senate floor. No one will discuss it. It will not be amended. It will not be debated. And so they're not interested in fixing anything. They want to have this issue and use this issue as a giant a giant skillet to knock Republicans over their heads and try to win in November and increase their control over the American people. That's what's fueling this. I don't think it's anything any more magnanimous than that. This is cynical racial politics at its worst, and they ought to be ashamed of themselves, and they deserve to have their heads handed to them in November.
I want to ask you, Deroy, about the you dig up the history behind all the nastiness of somebody like George Washington, or you dig up nastiness, try to find nastiness behind Abraham Lincoln or Andrew Jackson. Some of these bear quite more fruit than the others do. But I want to address something that you touch on in this article that shows the hypocrisy. And hypocrisy is the word of the year, in my opinion, with what we are seeing across all political spectrums. Planned Parenthood was founded by Margaret Sanger. Margaret Sanger created Planned Parenthood for specifically for the purpose of population control. And she was a racist. There's no denying that she created Planned Parenthood to engage in eugenics in this country. Where are we? Why, if we're going to be, I don't want to burn any buildings down, but let's close some buildings. Let's go about this the right way. And let's dig up the dirt on where Planned Parenthood came from and what the purpose was. And let's stop killing babies in the name of the racist behavior of their founder, Margaret Sanger.
You're absolutely right about that. And this is something that the Democrats don't talk about, which is, you say, Margaret Sanger was a eugenicist. She believed in purifying the population of the world, the United States and population of the world, by decreasing the number of black births. And if you decrease the number of black births, you'll have fewer black people. And so she started Planned Parenthood. And the idea was, well, let's abort the little black fetuses, and we'll have fewer black people, and we'll have a whiter country, and we'll all live happily ever after. That was her thinking as a white supremacist, essentially. And so how come her statue isn't being knocked down? And it's not like she just wrote an article about this and left it in some library. I mean, Planned Parenthood is alive and well. Unfortunately, what are not alive and well are the fetuses that they kill on their property by the millions and millions. I think the number I've seen is 30 or 40 million black people would be in America today if Planned Parenthood and abortion had not killed them. We can thank Margaret Sanger for that. And by the way, where's this going to stop? I can tell you some Democrats who statues ultimately might end up on the sidewalk. Franklin Delano Roosevelt, great Democrat hero. He locked Japanese people up in internment camps. JFK, admirable in many respects, not exactly the most faithful person to his wife. I imagine some feminists might think his statue ought to come down. His brother, Robert F. Kennedy, he authorized the wiretaps on Martin Luther King during the Civil Rights Movement. Maybe we ought to bring down the RFK statues. And of course, you've got all over West Virginia and the U.S. Capitol the statues of former Senator Robert Byrd, who was not just a member of the Ku Klux Klan, he was the exalted Cyclops of the KKK. He recruited 150 members, brand new members, into his Ku Klux Klan chapter in Crab Orchard, West Virginia. Why are the Robert Byrd statues allowed to stay up and standing on pedestals? I want to see a movement to put statues up, to erect statues. Why don't we put up statues of people like Frederick Douglass, Harriet Tubman, who rescued slaves in the South and brought them north into freedom. Booker T. Washington wrote a wonderful book called Up from Slavery about being born a slave and ending up running a university. Jackie Robinson integrated baseball in the late 40s. Rosa Parks was one of the very first people to get the civil rights movement started with the bus boycott. And of course, Dr. Martin Luther King, who was such a spectacular and incredibly effective leader in the civil rights movement. Why don't we put statues of those people up so we can admire them rather than yank statues down and cheer as they crash to the ground and break into small pieces?
Yeah. I just wish that we would, if we want to be invested in our history, let's be invested in our history and talk about the truth. Deroy, you do that with Fox News. We love reading your articles and we love having you on here every Wednesday. Thank you. Hope you're doing well, and we'll talk to you again next week.
Very good. Good to talk to you. Be well. Thank you. Bye.
You too. Fox News contributor Deroy Murdoc joining us there. Let's take a quick break. I'm waiting on the president, supposed to be talking soon, but let's get a Tim Jones hit in here real quick. This is the most fun that I had all last week when Tim Jones was on the show.
Gosh, I was in tears.
He was so fired up. I don't know why it hit me the way it hit me, but it was like, maybe I was so unstable at that moment, just like everything bearing down on you, all the news cycle and everything, that I needed to laugh. And Tim Jones cracked it open and I was legit in tears. It was so funny.
The challenge for him this week is to take it up another level then. And we know that he's listening right now. He always listens to Deroy. So there's the challenge.
Bring the energy. And like I said last week, I was doubled over in tears laughing. Man, right now, Ryan, you're frozen on the screen again. And you just look so disinterested in what we're doing.
Do I just blink a lot or do I always look sleepy? Because it catches
I don't
me.
know. I don't know. You just kind of.
This looks like you are annoyed with us.
Yeah.
Oh, wait, that's live. That's actually not stuck.
I'm waiting for that to be frozen on the Facebook Live and the YouTube Live, where you just look like you could be anywhere else but here. And I'm going to be laughing my head off at Tim Jones. It's going to be quite the visual with Tim Jones, I should say. I don't know what we got to say to get him going, but it was great last week. It'll be great again. Tim Jones joins us in just a minute. We'll see what he thinks about President Trump and the trajectory he's on going into November. Don't go anywhere.
Ain't no sunshine when
This is the Annie Frey Show.
this house just ain't no home.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market gains without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID-19. It's another thing to be stuck with a house. We have good news for homeowners listening throughout St. Louis. Chris Buys Homes in St. Louis is still buying houses. More importantly, we offer sellers a completely virtual selling process that maintains social distancing standards. Sell your home now. Call Chris today and get a cash offer in just 7 minutes. Call 314-782-7000. Can't collect rent? Not a problem. We buy My Tenant Won't Pay Me the Rent houses as well as vacant houses. We buy houses as is and deal with any situation. If you own a house and want to sell it fast at a fair price, call Chris today and get your house sold. 314-782-7000. That's 314-782-7000. 314-782-7000.
Technology is great until it doesn't work. Arcadia Valley Communications can make technology for your business great again, or even better. Arcadia Valley Communications can assist you with all your cloud, VoIP, Wi-Fi, and fiber optic needs. Arcadia Valley has over 50 years combined experience to give you the best possible service at prices that beat their competition. Call Ron Elkins at Arcadia Valley Communications for a free technology analysis for your home or business. ArcadiaValleyCommunications.com.
With spending more time at home, you may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from your local CertaPro painters. Each CertaPro painter's business is independently operated by men and women.
Rejoin. Can you see yourself, Katie? Can you see Ryan on here?
Recommended by public health officials. Get a remote or on-site estimate from them today. Start your free estimate at CertaPro.com. That's Certa.
My whole Chrome just shut down.
And trusted experts.
I had to reboot it.
Imagine
so it's
two
probably
identical
because of me,
homes
but
on the
if
same
you can-
street that sold in the same week for $400,000. One seller used a realtor who charged 7%. The other listed with Straight Realty for only 4%, saving $12,000. Hi, my name is Christina Straight with Straight Realty. Don't be fooled by high commissions. Why pay more than 4? 314-441-4444. 314-441 all fours.
Straight Realty is a licensed broker in the state of Missouri.
Hi, this is Craig Jensen, trial attorney at Meyer Jensen PC. Justice is your right, but not without a fight. Sometimes bad injuries happen to good people, and there is always a reason more than saying it was just an accident. At Meyer Jensen, we have over 30 years experience fighting for people's rights, and we will fight for your rights at every phase of your case. If you've been injured because of someone else's carelessness, you need a lawyer who will level the playing field. Call Meyer Jensen at 618-463-1000 or visit us at meyerjensen.com.
Hi, it's Michael Mohan with Community Mortgage. With all the bad news out there, it's easy to miss the good news. Mortgage rates are at historic lows, making now a great time to buy or refinance a home. My customers are locking in the best rates in a generation. Now is the time to use the equity in your home to cash out for a remodel, pay off high-interest credit card debt, or rid yourself of the dreaded PMI. During these volatile times, you need an experienced local loan officer working for you. Call me, Michael Mohan, at 314-336-6050. I'm here in St. Louis, and when you call, you talk to me. Whether you are purchasing or refinancing, I want to help you save money on your home loan. Michael Mohan at Community Mortgage, 314-336-6050. Online at communitymortgagestl.com.
Community Mortgage LLC, NMLS 250353224143.
Get a bird's eye view of your commute every day. Dependable traffic with Sue Thomas, driven by Ambassador Floor Company with 100% employee installation. Experience more with Ambassador Floor.
Jumping at a gun. I'm feeling like a winner. I feel like the one. You're doing something to me. You're doing something strange. Well, jump back. Talk to me, woman. You make me want to make a baby.
As long as I'm president, America will be a land of fair laws, swift justice, and safe communities. And that's why when rioting and looting broke out in our nation's capital, I quickly deployed. I came in, I deployed the National Guard very quickly. Mark Meadows was there. We had a lot of our people there. We stopped the violence. We saved that incredible statue. You saw it last night. And restored peace and order to the streets, although I will tell you they did great damage to the cannons that were on the ground.
To the cannons that were on the ground. Donald Trump speaking yesterday at a student-attended event in Phoenix, and it was very well attended. It was a bunch of young people. They weren't wearing masks, and that really frustrates people. Some people. Real quick before we get to Tim Jones, when we start to go back to normal, cases are obviously going to go up. More people are going to get infected. More people are going to get sick. But the people who are going out and going back to work and going into the stores to spend money at the places where people have gone back to work are the ones who are going to need to be able to get everything going again for the people who can't come out. So obviously, like, nowhere ever was the goal to get rid of coronavirus. That's a little bit too arrogant of a claim to make. It was to make sure that we could handle it and protect the most vulnerable among us. It blows my mind when I see people saying, should we really be opening up blah, 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 because cases are going up? Well, of course they're going up. And if they didn't go up, then the whole thing would have been a lie. Obviously. Tim Jones joins us now. Let's get him in the room.
Another great night for Donald Trump.
No collusion, no obstruction.
This is Armageddon.
You know, I brought you Outlander. Brought to you by Arrowhead Building Supply.
Tim, I don't know if you heard me say this, but last week our 10 minutes together was the happiest I was all week. It just warmed my heart. We're glad to have you back.
I hope
here.
your husband's not listening to the show.
No, it was his favorite 10 minutes too.
It was all of our favorite 10 minutes.
Hey, don't judge me. I'm just going to mail it in this week.
You're going to just ride that into the sunset.
I'm just going to mail it in. I got nothing. After Ryan called me out, I'm just kind of in I got triggered, and I'm in my safe space now, hiding in my basement corner.
This is not how I expected this interview to go at all. The president went to that rally in Phoenix, Arizona. Or not rally, or speech, whatever it was. I don't know. I guess it was a rally. And it was well attended. A lot of young people there, a lot of excitement around that. Nobody's really talking about it. But the news cycle right now is just, it's moving, 3,000 miles a minute. The Tulsa rally, I think, was not what the Trump campaign wanted it to be. And that's over and done with. Where do you see the president right now and his most recent actions of bringing up immigration, of being, coming out and saying regularly that he's the law and order president? What's his intention and how is it working for him going into campaign mode headed towards November?
Well, Annie, I guess the story out of the mainstream media was going to be, because look, the Tulsa rally, and I actually spoke with one of my very good friends on the ground in Tulsa, actually in Oklahoma City. He's a version of me in Oklahoma, does a lot of think tank stuff, runs the Oklahoma Council for Public Affairs. And he said, look, there was a lot of things they could have done better. There was a lot of things they did well. We had a rally. Over 6,000 people showed up inside. He said thousands of people were turned away outside. There was a lot of competing things going on. As you can imagine, Tulsa, even though it's in Oklahoma, is an urban area. Well, guess what's in urban areas? Democrats, the blue, right? And they didn't make it very welcoming. There was a lot of barricades and things thrown up, figuratively, literally, to the crowds coming in. Now, not making any excuses, but look, when was the last time we saw a Joe Biden rally that didn't have more than 12 people in it, or that had more than 12 people in it, separated by those 6-foot circles? Did you see the pictures of that Joe Biden event? It's laughable. So the president pivots, goes to Phoenix, and goes to a mega church there, a 3,000 seat mega church. And guess how many people showed up? 3,000 people. The place was packed once again to the rafters. I think they'll get their mojo back. If there was really no momentum for President Trump, if there was really no interest, thousands of people would not be showing up. We never really had this experience in this country where, political folks were treated like rock stars, right? And Barack Obama, I'll give him some credit. He was the one that kind of first set the bar. Remember those big events he'd have with the flashing lights, and he had the Roman pillars and kind of the Greek temple look he had that time. And there was a lot of people there. Thousands of people showed up. Donald Trump has taken it to a new level. But Annie, there's a lot of competing messages coming out, right? The media is on this drumbeat of cases. And if you look at my Twitter feed today, I have once again tweeted out the thing that people should be focusing on, and that is where we are on hospitalizations and the death rate of COVID-19. Like you said, back in the beginning, we didn't know what to do because we didn't know what this was. Everything was based on data projections and potential modeling. We don't need that anymore because you know what we have now? We actually have real live data and we actually have real live statistics.
Yeah.
So I'm waiting for the party of science, the former party of science, the Democrats, to catch up and do what you are doing and looking at what things are right now. We now know which populations with which risk groups are at risk for COVID-19 and which ones aren't. Saying that there's been a giant spike in the 20 to 30-year-old population is one thing. If you want to fearmonger, how about talking about how many of those people actually got sick, showed symptoms, went to the hospital, were in the ICU, were on ventilators, or died? I'll bet that number is just about as close as you can get to zero.
Yeah, and that's really good news. You'd think that we'd be shouting it.
Yeah, Speaker Tim Jones, it's got to be agenda driven at this point because everybody is. I mean, legitimately, everybody's talking about, wow, the cases really are going back up. But if you look at the death rate, I'm looking at the graph right now. It goes up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. But if you made it a straight line, it's going down. And the lowest death total we've had was June 22nd, a couple days ago, since the beginning of March. So overall, everything is trending in the right direction.
Yeah, I mean, this isn't fake news, right, Ryan? You can go to your Google machine or whatever you use, and you can type in COVID tracker and go to whatever source you want, because they're all using the same data. And the data shows a huge climb up the mountain, like Splash Mountain, Annie. Have they outlawed that yet in Disney World? Is that on the chopping block?
I'm on a limit to how much I can bring up Disney World, so I just want it to go on the record that you brought it up.
Yeah.
But yeah,
if I start singing "Song of the South," will the FCC completely shut your show down today?
Can you just do it on your show Sundays 7 to 9 p.m.?
We'll try that out first. So
halfway
where
through
was
that
I?
sentence,
Oh yeah,
Annie hit her limit. So
the roller coaster ride of the COVID tracker. So if you look at this thing, you look at the tracker, it spikes up mid-April, right? It's at its peak. And then it plunges not straight down, but in a very nice gradual trend, which is what you want to see, right? What does that mean? It means that the frontliners, the first responders, the nurses, the doctors, the scientists, they're getting a handle on this. When was the last time you heard about any hospital shortages? Remember, that was what we were lighting our hair on fire about in March and early April. Well, there are none because now we're prepared. All the American ingenuity has ramped up to meet this challenge. There are a gazillion pharmaceutical companies probably working 24/7 on therapeutics and vaccines. They're figuring out how to ease people through this, how to help them recover. The recovery rate, I bring this up every week because you won't hear it anywhere else but Annie on your show and on 97.1 and maybe on the Big Fox. The recovery rate for COVID-19 worldwide is 99.97%. The recovery rate for people under the age of 50, I'm sorry, the mortality rate. The mortality rate for under the age of 50 is 0.05%. That's less than influenza A or B. You combine the entire population of the US and the mortality rate is 0.4%, just slightly higher than influenza A and B. Serious virus, but the hysteria continues to be the hoax in the situation.
Let me ask you one real quick question because we're going to have to run here in a second. But Twitter, which you mentioned Twitter before, Twitter yesterday placed a this is a tweet that Donald Trump put out. He's the president of the United States. He said there will never be an, quote, autonomous zone in Washington, D.C. as long as I'm your president. If they try, they will be met with serious force. He today sent in the National Guard to defend the city of Washington, D.C. Twitter has put a like cover over this tweet, a warning for people when they're consuming it. And they tweeted, "We've placed a public interest notice on this tweet for violating our policy against abusive behavior, specifically the presence of a threat of harm against an identifiable group." I don't know if they know that there's a suitcase that goes around with this president when it talks about the power that the president of the United States has. I mean, Twitter, I guess, it blows my mind that they did this. So I tweeted this yesterday, and I've joined Parler. It's Parler. I don't know if that's going to stick, but you can follow me at Annie Frey Show on Parler. You have a massive Twitter following. Are you looking at what Twitter is doing? Censorship. They booted off Carpe Donktum, who created the meme video of the toddlers that the president retweeted. He's gone. He's suspended indefinitely from Twitter. Are you getting to the point where Twitter doesn't get to have your participation anymore?
Yeah, Annie, a lot of my followers, who are a lot of your followers as well. That's actually the discussion today. If you look at my Twitter feed, and they're tagging you on some of them too about getting off Twitter. And I'm starting to really think about it. I hate to have to, start over again, but why not? Twitter is almost begging to lose all of its incredible protections that it has in not being treated as a media company, right? They're begging to be put under the same rules as the New York Times and Fox News and CNN and all the other media companies. They're going to lose a lot of the protections they currently have if they keep trying to go down this road. What is this road? It seems to be this anarchical, lawless, quote, new order. I keep wondering, what do Democrats, what do the left, Antifa, and BLM want after they destroy all of inner urban America? There's some irony there that they're destroying all these heavily blue areas. Good luck trying to do that out in the suburbs or rural America. It's just never going to work for many reasons. So after they destroy inner urban America, what is going to be resurrected in its place? What is going to come out of the ashes of this fiery phoenix? I'm not sure they have a plan or even that they want a plan. It seems to just be this quest for the destruction of Western civilization. And, at some point, Tucker Carlson had a great monologue on this last week and calling out the Republicans, especially the establishment ones. Why is everybody sitting on their hands and not calling this out from the president on down? The president has finally taken some recent actions. Stop taking the statues down. Stop destroying inner urban America. We almost have to save these. We got to save these areas from themselves, it seems. And it doesn't make any sense. Tearing down statues of Ulysses S. Grant, who crushed the rebellion in this country, helped Abraham Lincoln free the slaves and then hunted down the KKK. I mean, these people have no concept of history. It seems that they simply want anarchy in its place. I'm waiting for the silent majority to wake up and be heard. It may have to wait till the ballot box at November, but hopefully we get some indication of that soon happening.
Is Donald Trump going to win?
I still think he does, Annie.
Man,
I think the polls. Well, I had to think for a second. He's not making it easy on him. He's not. He was the lead character in Outlander.
No, he was not. Don't disparage my Jamie Fraser that way. Man.
Annie, the president could help himself by trying to avoid some of his unforced errors, right? And by taking quicker action. The silent majority, as I just mentioned, is still behind him. I truly believe this is still a center-right country that believes in the aspects of the rule of law and law and order. Look, we had a great decision today out of the DC Appellate Circuit, freeing, and in my opinion, a man that was railroaded and hoaxed it all the way through, General Michael Flynn. So you look for those diamonds in the rough. I believe they're there. And the poll that I think that I hang my hat on is the massive enthusiasm gap between Donald Trump supporters and Joe Biden. People only support Joe Biden on the left-hand side of the aisle because he's not Donald Trump, not because of anything he stands for.
It's all revolving around the Trump. Thank you, Tim. It's good to have you on here. I will tune in on Sunday night to hear if you do talk about Splash Mountain. We're going to hear 7 to 9 on Sunday. That is a controversy that is out there that I just can't even get into. It's so ridiculous.
How about we cover that next week, and I'll come on singing Song of the South.
Okay.
Yep.
Katie.
Yep. Let's do that.
Man, Katie, we had President Trump on that time. We're gonna have to bump Tim Jones for that segment. Don't tell Arrowhead. All right, let's take a quick break. Tim, thank you so much. Good to talk
Thanks,
to you.
Annie. Thanks, gang.
When we come back, the president is speaking from the White House. We will bring that to you on the break here on the live stream. I'm going to show you a little bit about Parler, which is like the new Twitter. It's supposed to be where you can actually engage in free speech and conversation. I'm learning Parler right now along with you. Ryan, have you looked at Parler at all yet?
No, I've not even heard of it, actually.
Katie, have you?
I haven't. I'm excited to see
all
what
right,
it's all about.
I will show it to you on the webcam during the break. You can continue to listen along with us. You can go to facebook.com/Annie Frey Show, or you can put us on YouTube. You can watch us on your smart TV, on your YouTube app. Just type in Annie Frey. We're live. We'll be back in just a minute.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Find the podcast, on-demand audio, and more at 971talk.com/Annie.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Get in your comfort zone with Carrier Cool cash rebates, $50 to $1,650, and 0% financing on qualifying new HVAC systems. For details and all things heating and cooling, visit aircomfortservice.com.
Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this. ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
michaelsflooringoutlet.com is the website when you are looking to replace the flooring. I know that there is some flooring that needs to be replaced at my church. And so they go around and they get bids. I encourage them to go to Michael's Flooring Outlet before they made a decision, because Michael's Flooring Outlet is going to have fantastic value for the dollar. If you are looking to maybe go with something hardwood looking in your bedroom and get rid of the carpet that's in it, I want you to go to Michael's Flooring Outlet. They also have waterproof floors manufactured with materials that are resistant to moisture, which can damage and destroy many flooring types. You put in this brand new flooring, you spill on it, and then it buckles or something. You're not going to have that problem when you talk to Michael's Flooring Outlet about your circumstances, what you want your flooring to be able to do for you because of the life you are going to live on it. And as a mother of 3 with a dog and just constantly coming and going, or at least that's the way it used to be, it's getting back to that right now. I need flooring that can handle my family. You can get that at Michael's Flooring Outlet. Mohawk, Smart Strand, Forever Clean, Arrow, Revwood Plus, and so much more. Visit them online at michaelsflooringoutlet.com.
Hey guys, this is Rachel from my good friends at Upkeep Home Warranty and Maintenance. Most warranty companies will sign you up and then hope that you never contact them again. Or when you do, they deny your claim for lack of maintenance. You don't have to worry about that with Upkeep. At Upkeep, you deal with one home manager. That is your point person who is going to take care of everything for you. Upkeep comes out and will maintain your appliances and equipment 4 times a year. You know exactly who's going to show up because they don't contract out their work. And when they come in, they're not trying to upsell you. Let's face it, you probably already have a service plan or maintenance plan for your HVAC or equipment, but now you can have all of that plus your equipment covered for about the same cost. And the best part is now you have the peace of mind knowing that your equipment is taken care of and you're saving tons of money on your utilities. Log on to upkeepstl.com, check out everything they do, and mention the DGS and get $100 off the program. That website is upkeepstl.com.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting, 314-373-1598, Compass Retirement Solutions, 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
The Dave Glover Show.
Nick and I took Phoebe to a tennis lesson, and then I say this sentence in this exact way. My daughter seems to lack my aggression.
Weekdays at 3 on 97.1 FM Talk.
Put on my blue suede shoes and I boarded the plane. Touchdown in the land of the Delta Blues in the middle of the pouring rain. W.C. Handy, won't you look down over me? Yeah, I got a first-class ticket, but I'm as blue as a boy can be. Then I'm walking in Memphis.
You think this is a mark of progress in the coronavirus?
I'm very happy about General Flynn. He was treated horribly. He was treated very, very horribly by a group of very bad people. And I think you'll see things are going to start to come out. But what happened to General Flynn should never happen again in our country. He was persecuted, and many other people were persecuted. They spied on a campaign, and they should never spy on a campaign, to put it mildly. It never happened before in the history of our country. The Obama administration spied on a campaign. This is just the first one. He's been exonerated, and I want to congratulate him. He's been through a lot.
That is the president speaking just within the last few minutes from the White House and reacting to the news that the appeals court has said you need to dismiss this case against General Flynn. So I wanted to get that to you right there. If you saw, the Democrats have blocked the police reform bill that was put together by Tim Scott, the one that Chuck Schumer said was token. Oh my. Again, he probably didn't mean anything by it, but if a Republican said that, they'd be toast. That's just the hypocrisy of it. People like even Jimmy Kimmel, the stuff that he did in his past, I think that America would be willing to say you did that in your past. And if you come out and you say, that was a really poor decision on my part, and I completely would not engage in that kind of behavior again, I think that America go, okay, and then wait for him to prove, that that's the case. But Jimmy Kimmel can't go out and be, elitist slobbering all over the rest of the country about how ridiculous we all are, and then have this in his past too. It's hypocrisy. America hates hypocrisy. I really hate hypocrisy. Did you guys watch as I was you said neither of you knew about Parler?
No, but
I've heard you mention it before, but yeah, I have never used it. I've never really looked into the platform, so I'm intrigued.
Looks a lot like Twitter.
Yeah,
right?
It's a alternative to Twitter, which I think, and I had a friend of mine who I grew up with message me maybe like I don't know, a couple weeks ago, and say you should get on Parler. It's going to be the new Twitter, and the second that Donald Trump decides that he is going to go get on Parler, then it's going to be on, because Donald Trump is the most followed person on Twitter. So I thought, okay, fine, I'll get on this. I legit remember being, how old are you when you're a sophomore in college? If you go right out of high school, at 19, 20?
19, yeah, 19 going on 20.
I remember my roommates at the time coming down to my room and saying, hey, are you on the Facebook yet? And I'm like, no, what's the Facebook? And so we ended up getting on Facebook, and it was a very different iteration of what it is today, of course. I mean, Facebook looks different today than it did it was the other thing. So I got on Facebook, and it developed over the course of time. So I thought, okay, I'll get on Parler, because Twitter makes me crazy. Doesn't it bother you the way Twitter has so much power to censor people over political beliefs? Like, you have to trust them to do it right, but I don't feel like they're doing it right.
I said it in the break that I think they're being stupid, because if Trump wins again, I mean, even if he doesn't, the FCC is going to be starting to make rules that apply to Twitter, or they're going to apply existing rules to Twitter and Facebook if they don't stop this. It's a stupid strategic move on their part.
I said that Chuck Schumer called it token legislation. I was wrong. It was Dick Durbin, which is worse because he's my senator and yours, Ryan.
Yep.
Man. So I don't know. Are you
prouder,
Katie? I know that you have like a limit on your social media. Katie's not on Instagram. She's like, I don't do it. I'm not doing it.
And it took me a while to really like start to invest even into Twitter. But I mean, I have an interest in it because I want to compare and contrast the differences between that and Twitter. Because I mean, Twitter is insane. It is crazy. And you have to put on your armor to even go into that application and into that platform. So I'm wondering, is that the same kind of concept as Parler? Is it really intense?
Not yet. But there's not nearly as many people on it yet. But I mean, I'm telling you right now, like the big names in this industry, I follow Twitter I used to follow Twitter for news, politics, and sports. Well, we don't have sports except for we're going to, which I want to remind you that Kevin Wheeler is going to be on at 2:25 to give us the update on what the baseball season is going to look like. So stick around for that at 2:25, and Adam Schuster with Illinois Policy at 2:00 right when we come back. But the big names are on Parler right now, Parler. And so they're using it, and they are, I think the right people have joined it and invested in it to make it worth your time. If this news is what you're interested in getting, a lot of publishers as well, online publishers. So I don't know, give it a try. If you go get on Parler, follow the show at Annie Frey Show, and we can experience this together. Twitter, something needs to change with Twitter. I know Josh Hawley is working on it, and Katie's working on getting him on the show. We'll be back with Illinois Policy in just a minute.
Hi, I'm Ryan Kelly. There's never been a better time in history for a cash out refinance. You can drop your house payment a couple $100, skip 2 full months of mortgage payments, pay off all your high interest rate credit card debt, and fill up your savings account with cash. That's how you come out of the shutdown ready for whatever the future brings. Get pre-approved for your cash out refinance today with our 5-minute loan approval, only available at thehomeloanexpert.com.
The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
Hey guys, Glover here with my friends at Window World. Congratulations to the guys. They have been ranked by J.D. Power and Associates best in customer satisfaction with a window and patio door retailer 5 of the last 7 years, have the highest rating possible with the Better Business Bureau, only one of 2 window replacement companies in the country that have the Good Housekeeping seal of approval. They have the lowest prices. They have the best possible terms. They have replacement windows that are just built like tanks. One of their little deals that they do, of course, they always bring it out to your home or place of business so you can see and feel the window. They encourage you to stand on them just to prove how great and durable that they are. They have the best guarantee and warranty in the business. If anything goes wrong, they replace it, no questions asked. Call them at 314-993-1800 or visit windowworld.com. 314-993-1800. windowworld.com.
Take a moment and rate your lifestyle on a scale of 1 to 10. 1 is a life that's nothing like the life you were promised after getting good grades, a college degree, and a good job in corporate America. 10 is the life of your dreams. If you answered anything less than a 10, tune into the Del Walmsley Radio Show. Del, self-made millionaire and founder of Lifestyles Unlimited, will show you how to live the life of your dreams and pay for it with passive income.
Tune in to the Del Walmsley Show, where the hype ends and the help begins. Weeknights at 7 on 97.1 FM Talk.
I'm listening daily, here to help end the stigma of talking about mental health. During these challenging times, we are here to listen and to help our communities listen to each other. Here's Thomas Rhett on the importance of marital counseling.
My wife and I have definitely done our fair share of marital counseling, and I think that we have taken a lot of those tools we've learned and really just tried to apply them to the way that we treat each other. And it's just super important to be brutally honest with each other. To me, it's one thing to hold it in and then kind of let it explode as time goes, but I think the more you can kind of get it out in the open a lot quicker, for us, at least as a married couple, it has really tremendously helped our marriage. I think when you're struggling, I think when you're around people that you can trust with the information that you're laying on them, I just think it's just better to talk about it. You know, I mean, we've said this before, but I think the more you can get off your chest rather than kind of hone in on that and bask in your anxiety and bask in your stress, I just think it just makes it 10 times worse, you know?
Let's end the stigma of talking about mental health. Find out more at imlistening.org.
KFTK FM Florissant, K254CR St. Louis, driven by the Bommarito Automotive Group, 97.1 FM Talk, a radio.com station.
New coronavirus restrictions within the U.S. I'm Rich Dennison, Fox News. Anyone with travel plans to New York, New Jersey, or Connecticut from states experiencing coronavirus infection rates of 10% of the total population will be required to self-quarantine for 2 weeks.
As of today, the states that are above that level are Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Florida, North Carolina, South Carolina, Washington, Utah, Texas.
New York Governor Andrew Cuomo discussing the advisory issued by his state and the 2 others affected by the restrictions. Health officials say coronavirus infections and hospitalizations have hit new highs and nationwide are nearing levels last seen in April. A federal appeals court today ruling prosecutors can dismiss the criminal case against former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. He pleaded guilty to lying to the FBI, but the Justice Department sought to dismiss that case. About 400 members of the National Guard have been deployed to protect monuments in the nation's capital. Fox's Lucas Tomlinson at the Pentagon.
The unarmed troops were requested earlier this week by the Secretary of the Interior. Over 5,000 National Guard troops had been mobilized to help quell protests, which at times turned violent in Washington, D.C. Those forces had all stood down as protests turned peaceful in recent weeks. But earlier this week, rioters attempted to tear down the statue of Andrew Jackson outside the White House in Lafayette Square.
The move comes as President Trump promises prison for those who damage or destroy monuments on federal grounds. A Senate Republican police reform proposal has failed to advance. Democrats say they couldn't support the measure because it didn't go far enough to end police misconduct.
This bill woefully falls short of the comprehensive reform needed to address the current policing crisis and achieve meaningful law enforcement accountability.
Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer, Democrats are now calling for bipartisan talks to reach a deal. America is listening to Fox News.
At Fisher Investments, we do things differently, and other money managers don't understand why.
Because our way works great for us.
But it may not work for your clients. That's why Fisher Investments is a fiduciary, obligated to put clients first. It's the highest standard for a financial advisor.
So what do you provide? Cookie cutter portfolios like the rest of us?
No cookie cutter portfolios here. Fisher Investments tailors portfolios to meet each client's goals and needs.
But you do sell investments that earn you high commissions, right? And make commissions when you make trades for your clients?
No, Fisher Investments doesn't sell any commission investment products, and we never earn commissions on trades.
So what's in it for you?
Fisher Investments fees are structured so we do better when our clients do better. When it comes to helping clients achieve a comfortable retirement, we're clearly different. Visit FisherInvestments.com to find out why investors like you switch to us. Fisher Investments, clearly different money management.
Investments in securities involve the risk of loss.
Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling weather with Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
Partly sunny skies with us this afternoon. Nice temperatures, below average temperatures, 82, and the humidity levels are easy to take. Tonight, clear skies, 63 for the overnight low. Then on Thursday, beautiful morning, lots of sunshine, but it's a little warmer, a little more humid in the afternoon. Still not bad. 89 for the high. Friday, it's all about summertime, hot and humid, maybe a couple of spot thunderstorms. This is 97.1 FM Talk. Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray.
When you're dealing with IT issues, that is so incredibly frustrating. Just to have something you're supposed to be able to sit down and utilize for your business. And if your business is relying on any kind of technology to function in order for you to be able to meet your bottom line, you need it to work correctly. You need forensic IT. If you have a lot of proprietary information, if you have a lot of customer information, and you need to make sure that all of that is safe and protected and accessible to you and no one else, you need forensic IT. If you are using some equipment and it seems to crash a lot, if you get viruses or if your applications that you're using are constantly freezing, you need forensic IT. And here's why. Forensic IT uses a root cause analysis method. So when there are issues, they use a data-driven approach to technical problem solving that removes guesswork you're going to typically find with other organizations. Don't let those system crashes, viruses, or frozen applications trouble you anymore. Get forensic IT. 314-677-3950. That's 314-677-3950. You can visit them online at forensicit.com.
It's open enrollment season, and MediShare is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry that saves most families about $500 a month. Google MediShare and see if it's a right fit for you. And check out the podcast from the Associated Press, Ground Game, hosted by AP's digital editor, Megan Crane.
Okay, so maybe we're new to home improvement.
But we're determined.
So when it came to finding the perfect floor at the perfect price, our contractor gave us an insider tip. And whoa! At Floor & Decor, we shop the same incredible selection as real-life designers and contractors.
And I appreciated the budget-friendly prices.
Now, thanks to Floor & Decor, we're unstoppable.
Oh yeah, we found where the pros go.
Explore Floor & Decor in person or online at flooranddecor.com.
If you've listened to 97.1 FM Talk, you've heard of Doug Voss of Voss Financial and Safe Money Radio, as he has been a staple on the station for many years as the financial expert. Trust and results are the two biggest factors in an advisor, and this is why Doug is so successful. So listen to Safe Money Radio 7 times a week on 97.1 FM Talk. He can see you at the office with plenty of distancing, of course. He can do a virtual call, 844-676-SAFE. That's 844-676-7233. Doug Voss is a registered representative. Securities offered through D.H. Hill Securities, LLLP. Member FINRA and SIPC.
Response to Diamonds Direct's incredible free finance offer has been amazing. People are driving for hours to take advantage of 5 years zero interest financing with nothing down. But listen, these are the final days. This aggressive offer ends on June 30th and will not be extended. So don't wait another minute. Get to Diamonds Direct now. Pick any item. Get the unbeatable price Diamonds Direct is known for. Pay nothing down and spread your payments over 5 years without paying a dime in interest. It's the smartest way to buy, and it makes everything more affordable. An $8,000 designer engagement ring is just $134 a month. You can even finance the sales tax. Rings, earrings, pendants, bracelets, bands, colored gemstone jewelry, one-of-a-kind designer pieces. Everything's included. But there's one catch. This is a limited time offer, and it ends Tuesday, June 30th on approved credit. 5 years, zero interest, nothing down, nothing held back. Exclusively at Diamonds Direct.
"2020 has been and will continue to be a banner year for big decisions. This is your sounding board. Thanks for tuning in and talking it out with us at 97.1 FM Talk, streaming anytime at radio.com. The Annie Frey Show is sponsored by Forensic IT, the tech experts that find the root cause of your technical problems. ForensicIT.com.
That is exactly what I needed to hear.
Thank God someone here knows what they're talking about.
That's us. That's right. Gotta love this American ride.
Right, you need to take the time and get the full picture.
Come on, turn the radio on. It's Saturday and I won't be long.
Don't get me wrong. I love the ladies. I mean, they rev my engine, but they don't belong in the newsroom. It is Anchor Man, not Anchor Lady.
What do you want from me? I'm not America's sweetheart.
Goodness sake, kid. Keep your voice down. Your father's listening to the radio.
I'm not America's sweetheart.
This is the Annie Frey Show.
Welcome back to the Annie Frey Show. Just to bring a little bit of my life into the news cycle here. What's your favorite nut, first of all? Katie, your favorite nut?
Cashew all the way.
All right. Well, this is actually what started the real or fake news segment that we're doing on Fridays. I tweeted out that a whole cashew is infinitely more enjoyable to eat than a half or piece. And then Ryan just tweeted back that he disagreed. And then I tweeted back, of course you did. And that was the end of that conversation. And then
that was it.
Then we created an entire segment on it. Ryan, what's your favorite nut to eat?
Well, it is the cashew, and I hate what you've done to it by saying
the
that
cashew.
Yeah, it's the cashew, and you've said that a whole cashew is so much better, but that's not true because a half cashew in with mixed nuts is the best tasting nut of all because it gets the oils of its departed brothers on it.
I can't even argue with that. I don't even understand.
That's right. You
how to
can't argue with that because there is no argument against that.
Yeah, because it's above my head. You can't say that a piece of a cashew is the best nut in a handful of mixed nuts.
Yes,
that's like saying my favorite way to eat eggs is in a cake. You can't say that.
Which I also said.
I know.
But you can say this because it has to do with not only the style in which you're eating it, but the preparation of the nut.
A whole cashew is better to eat than a piece or a half. Katie, do you agree with that?
What's the difference?
Like, when you get broken up pieces of cashews?
I was answering a call. Yeah.
Yeah. Is Adam Schuster there?
Yes, he is.
Well, this is important. He can wait. We're going to ask him that question here in just a second. But isn't it better? Isn't it more enjoyable and pleasurable to eat a whole cashew than just like a piece of a broken cashew?
I would say it's much more flavorful. There's a lot. It's much more flavorful.
If you add the word broken cashew, it's going to skew
It's what
the
it is.
result.
The semantics doesn't change the
No, it's
truth
a
of what it
cut
is.
cashew.
You
It's
are
a
playing
slice.
politics with nuts.
No, I'm not.
The
I'm
whole
just
point of me talking
correct.
about this is pistachios are my favorite nuts to eat.
Oh.
And my 4-year-old daughter calls them statues. So in the midst of all of this statue talk, she'll be like, can we get the statues? And she said that the other day, and there were some people around, and they looked at me like, what is she talking about? Pistachios for a 4-year-old or statues. And I, because I'm a bad mom and she's my third child, I don't correct anything she says because I'm now invested in the cuteness of it as opposed to the correctness where with your firstborn, you're like, you're going to be a Rhodes Scholar, say things right. You're already 18 months. And with her, I'm like, yep, that's right. These are statues. And isn't it cute?
And never, ever change.
I don't know if I'm a bad mom, but I also, since I now have 3, don't care what you think. It's just kind of the way that develops over the course of time. All right, let's get Adam Schuster on here. And Adam, I have to ask you, he's probably allergic to nuts. Adam, what's the best nut to eat? Do you have a preference?
I was actually just thinking about that question. I heard you talking about it. I'm a big pistachio fan, but I think overall I would have to say almonds.
Almonds, okay. Do you like cashews?
Yeah, they're good. They're fine. Not my favorite.
Not your favorite? All right. Well, I won't ask you what's the best way to eat a cashew. I know you did your homework for today and you had no idea you're going to have a pop quiz. All right. Well, I like the almonds. I like almonds as well, for sure. Well, let's get to the point. We're always grateful to have you on. You are really the person who knows all the numbers, the statistics, and the facts behind what Illinois is facing from an economic standpoint. You're the director of budget and tax research at Illinois Policy. I want to ask you about this budget that the Democrats in Springfield, along with Governor Pritzker, have put together. And I will remind folks listening that the Democrats have so many votes in the House and the Senate that they wouldn't even really have to show it to Republicans to be able to pass whatever they want. When we hear about taxes, as Illinois residents, I never hear anybody talk about spending cuts. Well, now we have a budget. The governor has helped put together this budget, and he is spending a ton of money. Tell us a little bit about the highlights of what you want Illinois taxpayers to know about this budget.
Sure. So this budget, despite the fact, to take a step back, when Governor Pritzker proposed his budget in February, we were in the midst of one of the longest economic expansions on record, and we had, with really no sign of anything slowing down. The fundamentals were very strong. So he proposed a budget that spent a lot more than last year. Not too surprising, given what we know about the governor. And but what is surprising is that in March, when coronavirus hit and much of the state economy was shut down by government order, that had a huge impact on government revenues. If people aren't buying things, if people aren't working, that has a major impact on sales taxes, income taxes, taxes from amusement, and people coming into the state to visit, and all types of other things like this. So it's about a $6.6 billion hole that in the state budget. And despite that, Pritzker actually increased spending not only over last year, but over what he proposed in February. So it's about $773 million more than he proposed when the economy was doing well, and about $2.4 billion more than the prior year. So spending went up on a whole range of things, including pensions and then all types of other things. But the only thing that didn't go up was education. Education spending was actually frozen, which if you account for inflation is basically a cut in real terms. And the reason we're kind of highlighting this is because this gets to the crux of what's wrong with Illinois. The budget tells you the priorities of your state politicians. And when in the midst of the worst economic crisis since the Great Depression, they're going to increase spending on everything except education, that tells you where their priorities lie. And it's not with the things that the people of Illinois want and need.
Adam Schuster with Illinois Policy on the phone with us. Adam, it doesn't surprise me that Illinois is spending more on education than its neighbors, all these surrounding states. But what does surprise me, and I want to know why, is why we're getting worse outcomes for spending more money.
That's right. So Illinois spends more than the national average and more than every one of our neighboring states by thousands of dollars per student. And yet we actually get worse outcomes when you look at the National Association of Education Progress. They do these sort of scores of state systems, and we get worse scores on 8th grade math, 8th grade reading, and those scores are actually declining over time. While if you look at states like Indiana and Wisconsin that spend thousands of dollars less per student, not only are they getting better scores than us and have been, but their scores are improving and have been over the last several years. And I think what it really comes down to is in Illinois, while we spend a lot of money on education, we spend it in the wrong places. And those two places that we spend too much are, one, administration. We have a lot of very highly paid six-figure administrators, and as a result, Illinois spends the most in the nation per student on general administrative costs, or what are district administrators, superintendents, assistant superintendents, and their staff. And the other one is the state pension system. So if you look at total education spending, including money that goes to the classroom, but also including money for teachers' pensions, it used to be that pension spending took up about 12% of all of our spending on education. And today that's about 36%. That's over just 20 years. It's gone from 12% to 36% of all the money we spend on education. So we're spending more, but getting less for it because we're not spending it efficiently.
So when people are looking at education spending, I really want to highlight this. When people are looking at the way their tax dollars, they go to Springfield or even local tax dollars for that matter. And, I know that here in the school district that I live in, we recently, I guess in the last 4 years, passed a local tax referendum in order to subsidize the education spending for the school district, because they were, you get the laundry list of science textbooks are 10 years old or whatever, they don't have the technology that they need. The technology is out of date. I can very much so sympathize with that the kids need to have the current products and literature and technology to help them learn and be prepared to go out into the world. When I'm spending my tax dollars on education in the state of Illinois, why are those things not the priority? Why is if it's an educational spend, why is the textbook that the child is going to learn out of not one of the priority things that gets invested in, to the point where whatever money is or isn't being spent from Springfield to the local school districts, it's going to other places before it actually helps the students specifically with the materials they need. Can you kind of explain to me how that works?
Sure. Yeah. So basically, education spending, total education spending is a mix of federal, state, and local dollars. But the way the money is spent is primarily up to the locals, but there are ways that state policy from Springfield impacts that. So like I said, the big problem with the way we spend our education money is that too much of it goes to general administrative costs. And general administrative costs means not administrative costs even for people within the school. So not, your guidance counselor, your principal, people who might actually interact with students or have more of a direct impact on their day-to-day life. But we spend a lot of money on district administration. So people who are very rarely interacting with students and are sort of managerial in nature and sort of oversee the local school districts. We have the largest number of school districts per student by far in the country. And as a result, we spend a lot more on school districts than other states in the country do. So if you have fewer school districts per school or per student, then you can have fewer administrators managing those schools, and more of the money can filter down to the teacher, to the classroom, where it can be used to buy supplies, new textbooks, new technology. But if that money is sort of captured at the top by this layer of just really unnecessary bureaucracy, and it is totally unnecessary, because like I said, other areas are getting much better outcomes with much less spending on administration, that money never makes it down to the kids. And so what the state should be doing to remedy this problem is coming up with ways to consolidate school districts. So you can have sort of one, and this is not consolidating schools. So I'm not talking about the individual school building where your kid goes, so the district that manages it. And in some cases, there might only be one school per district. If you consolidate them and you've got more schools being served by a single administrative body, then you can have more efficient spending and more of the money can actually get filtered down to the kids.
Is that something that is more prevalent in the northeastern part of the state where that consolidation is needed? Is that something that is also an issue in Southern Illinois?
It really depends. I mean, across the state, you see that there's different types of issues. So a lot of the issues with, so if you have downstate, there's a lot of smaller unit districts that are, both elementary and high school are served by the same district. But what you have up in the suburbs, mostly like the Chicago suburbs, is there's a lot of overlapping districts. We have one district for secondary education and one district for elementary education. And in a lot of cases, those two things could be combined. So there's a lot of places in the Chicago suburbs where that's an issue.
All right. Well, Adam Schuster, thank you for the factual information. We always appreciate it. I want to encourage people to go to illinoispolicy.org to learn more and to join our Facebook group, Illinois Rising. We are over 7,000 members on ours, and the Lincoln Lobby, which is an Illinois policy group that is fantastic with informing you about opportunities to take action. That Lincoln Lobby is fantastic as well. Adam, we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks for coming on with us.
Talk to you soon. Thanks for your time.
Bye-bye. When you need to know the information that is going on, and you can just go to illinoispolicy.org. There's so much good stuff there, easy to read, easy to consume, and very informative. Let's take a quick break. The president's supposed to be having a press conference, which will happen at some point, probably in this hour. When we come back, we're going to talk with Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, who's going to give us an update on the deal that was made for baseball. I'm wearing my Cardinals baby blue jersey today, and in celebration of baseball being upon us. And Kevin Wheeler will lay it out for us here in just a second. Don't go anywhere. Stream us live on our YouTube page. Just type in Annie Frey, Frey, in YouTube. Subscribe to the page. Make sure you subscribe. We're almost 800 subscribers there. You can watch, you can comment, you can ask questions as well. Same goes for the Facebook Live. We'll be back in just a minute.
Where I come from, it's cornbread and chicken. Where I come from, a lot of front porch sitting. Where I come from,
you're listening to the Annie Frey Show.
Working hard to get to heaven. Where I come from.
Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
I south of Detroit City, pulled in this country kitchen.
Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election and at radio.com. Brought to you by Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling on 97.1 FM Talk.
If you're like me, you've been spending a lot of time at home. You may be noticing the scuffs and faded colors on your walls, the cracked, peeling paint on the outside of your home. Protect your home investment with quality painting from CertaPro painters. They make your experience worry-free, starting with a free on-site or remote estimate. It's your choice. I did one from the comfort of my own home. It's quick, safe, and easy. You can trust them to get the job done right. Schedule your free estimate today at CertaPro.com. That's Certa with the C.
Hi, this is Dave with House Sold Easy, and I buy houses cash. If you own a house and you want to sell it fast at a fair price, call me at 314-293-3000. I'll buy it, or my team of agents can help you sell it. I can pay cash and close in as little as 3 days. I buy houses in any condition, any price range, and any location in St. Louis. I am a private real estate investor who buys several houses a month, and I want to buy more. I buy inherited houses, divorce houses, behind in payment houses. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. Do you own a house that is trashed and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, because I love buying junk houses. I buy vacant houses, abandoned houses, condemned houses, and foreclosure houses. If you own a house and you want to sell it fast, call me at 314-293-3000. That's 314-293-3000.
When it comes to urgent care, you've heard Dr. Scott Hardiman on with us each Monday for the last few months, talking about updates on coronavirus. Well, Dr. Scott Hardiman is an ENT specialist that works with urgent care at a place called Urgent Specialist. Urgent Specialist is a little bit different than the rest of the urgent care. Now, as far as insurance is concerned, it's urgent care. But Urgent Specialist, online at urgentspecialist.com, urgentspecialist.com, excuse me. They have specialists that are on call, immediately available to help you when necessary. So if you have some sort of ENT issue, instead of going to an urgent care and then getting a referral, a list of paper of a whole bunch of ENTs that you could go see, and you got to make sure they're in network and yada, 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 you're going to be able to get that care right there on the scene. Also, let me tell you, it is the best urgent care around. I know this because Urgent Specialists just won the St. Louis Magazine A-List award for best and favorite urgent care in the area. And I am so excited about this because the urgent care facility, I've been to it, I've walked through it. I need you to put this website into your phone right now, just so you can kind of see it now. Chances are, if you're like me as a mom or a wife, if there is an urgent care need, you're getting in the car and you're just driving as quickly as you can. I want you to know about Urgent Specialists, because if you are not in a life-threatening situation, you can go to Urgent Specialists. It might be worth the extra little mile or two to get to because of all of the great things they're going to provide you included in the cost of your visit. So visit them online. They're located, first of all, on Manchester, just east of Highway 141, but visit them online at urgentspecialist.com. And congrats on the A-List award. So well deserved.
Hey guys, Glover here. If you are nearing retirement or already retired, call Thomas Helbig with the Retirement Advisory Group at 314-993-9494. He'll show you how to participate in the market games without ever losing a penny. Thomas is the official financial advisor of the DGS.
The current situation we're all living in has got us all probably looking at our waistline a little bit. Annie here to talk to you about how you can lose the weight. Slim 180 has helped me lose weight, and I know it can work for you as well. Reach out to Slim 180 and tell him you want to know more about how Annie is doing the weight loss program. Here's a phone number, 888-754-6111, 888-754-6111, or you can visit them online at myslim180.com. All Slim centers are open from 9 to 3 on Mondays through Fridays and 8:30 to 11:30 on Saturdays. You can feel secure that they're going to be responsible, following all of the recommended guidelines. Their staff is wearing gloves and masks, and they have plexiglass dividers between staff and customers. You can come in to work with counselors, get HCG treatments, and buy products. Keep yourself healthy during this time with Slim 180 and lose the weight, stay healthy, and keep your immune system strong. Call 888-754-6111 and ask them about their rapid weight loss program with medically supervised HCG, or a traditional program that has a counselor to help you every step of the way. Online at myslim180.com.
Decision 2020 is here at 971talk.com/election. Brought to you by Grasser Electric. Don't be left in the dark. Make the right call. Grasser Electric on 97.1 FM Talk. If it's happening here. In the world, the country, and the community. St. Louis's own 97.1 FM Talk.
Action is made.
You got a smile so bright. You know you could have been a candle. I'm holding you so tight. You know you could have been a handle. The way you swept me off my feet. You know you could have been a blue. And baby, it sounds so sweet. You know you could have been some perfume. Well, you could have been anything that you wanted to. I can tell.
Welcome back to the Andy Fry Show. Were you, like me, super happy to find out baseball was coming back? I was so happy initially that I didn't want to read the details upon first news of it because I didn't want it to taint anything that I felt in that moment of I get to watch baseball again and I don't know what they had to do to get here. I'm cheap like that, I guess. Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, is joining us now to give us the lowdown. I'm ready to hear the news and to be probably a little frustrated about some of the things they're going to do. But in the end, we're going to get to watch baseball. America needs this right now. Kevin, thank you so much for coming on with us.
Glad to do it. It's a glorious day, man. It's like, I don't know, do we call it, is this like a second Christmas day or second New Year's Day? How much do we want to celebrate this thing?
I think we want to celebrate quite a bit. So did I hear 60 games? Is that what the number is here?
Yeah, 60 games, and then 40 of those 60 will be played within the division. So you'll play 10 games each against your divisional opponents. So 10 against the Cubs and the Brewers and the Pirates and the Reds. And then you'll play the next 20 games against the American League Central Division. So everything's going to stay regional. So Central against Central, East against East, West against West. They want to keep travel to a minimum. I would bet just as much for financial reasons as for reasons related to COVID. But then in addition to that, there's a little bit of a breakdown of kind of how it goes against the other division. It's not a straight 4 games each against the 5 teams in your opposite division. You'll get more against your rivals. So the Cardinals will get the Royals 6 times, for example, and then 3 games against 2 American League Central teams, and then 4 games against 2 others. So long story short, yeah, it's going to be a hell of a sprint this year, and it's going to be a lot of fun.
I think I get to the point with a lot of things, like I'll take whatever I got to take in order to get it back and moving. Are you on the whole pretty excited about what's about to happen and the way they decided to do it?
Yeah, I mean, look, there are things that I wouldn't like to see implemented in a normal season right now, but this is the perfect opportunity to experiment because this isn't going to look anything like normal. I mean, normally you've got 6 months. You can weather a slow start from a starting pitcher or from an everyday player and just kind of let them play their way through it. Well, this is different, man. This is, 2 months. This would be like normally starting a season the beginning of April and finishing just after Memorial Day. So you've got to be ready for the sprint. And, in part to kind of speed things up, they've made a few changes. So one of them is going to be the universal DH. So every game will have a DH, regardless of whether it's involving an American League team or not. Some of that is for allegedly, I don't know if I buy this, but allegedly for the safety of pitchers, just to minimize some risk. But it's also to balance things out because you're only playing against 2 divisions, right? Your own division and then one from the other league. So they wanted the rules to be the same given the weirdness of the schedule. And then you're going to have this new extra inning rule. So they're going to try to speed up the end of extra inning games by starting extra innings with a runner on second base and nobody out. And it'll be the last batter from the last batted out from the previous inning. And they found that when they did that in the minors, Andy, it sped up the games 2 or 3 times. So the games were much shorter when they did that in the minors. So I think they're hoping that in this kind of a compressed schedule and, not having that much wiggle room for makeup days or extended, games, that they wanted to make sure they're getting them done a little quicker.
My favorite thing in baseball is the 16th inning third baseman pitcher situation. So I feel like that eliminates some of that possibility. Like I love staying up late and just hoping that somebody who has no business pitching gets to go in there and pitch. So that second base runner thing is kind of weird to me, but I guess whatever you got to do to play ball.
Yeah, I mean, it is weird, and I know they want to think about these ideas long term, and at least in this case, you kind of have a mulligan, right? They can play around with it without committing to it for the long term, and if people hate it, well, then they won't do it anymore. But if people end up saying, you know what, it's not that bad, then maybe they consider it in the next CBA. But I'm not a fan of it either. I don't like the position players pitching all that much, but I do like the idea
So fun.
just playing baseball. You're not on a clock,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah,
I mean, baseball doesn't have a clock. There's no hurry. Just finish when you finish.
Amen.
Kevin Wheeler, KMOX sports reporter, on the phone with us. Kevin, I had heard about that extra innings rule. I didn't know that they had already officially adopted it. But are there other things that are kind of still left hanging that we don't know for sure? Like, for instance, Christopher online asked, do we know when the trade deadline is or things like that yet?
Yeah, we know that. That's going to be August 31st. So basically halfway through. You'll have about a month to assess your needs, and then at the end of August, they're going to go ahead and shut that off, and then September will be with whatever it is. And I think September 15th is the date that somebody has to be in your organization so that they could appear in the postseason. So, for example, if you wanted to pick up somebody who was released, they'd have to be picked up before September 15th if they're going to appear in the postseason. So we do know that. The one other thing that I think is still hanging is the number of postseason teams. They're tentatively agreed at 10, which is normal, but I guess they're leaving it open for further discussion to maybe go to 12 or more, just as a way to create more television revenue, I guess. I mean, they want more inventory for the TV people if they can get it, but I don't know that they're definitely going to go beyond the 10. I think they just want to leave it open for discussion.
Kevin, let's talk about the only thing that really matters here to me, selfishly. How good is this going to be for the St. Louis Cardinals? Does this set them up to be strong competitors with playing, basically just the NL and the AL Central for the most part? How's it look for the Cardinals?
It's not bad. I mean, I think the Eastern divisions are the toughest ones, and they're the deepest ones. So I think all of the teams in both the American and National League East are going to have a little bit rougher time. The West is similar to the Central. It's a little bit more balanced. But, you're going to get 6 games against the Royals. They're not going to be very good. You'll get a certain number of games against Detroit. They're going to be terrible.
Mike Matheny's Royals, right?
Terrible. What's that?
So Mike Matheny, is he's still over there? Like, will we be seeing him a lot
he's with
then?
the Royals, right.
Oh,
So you'll get, we'll have 2 series. That'll be the Mike Matheny series.
Yes.
And I mean, if I were going to be snarky, I would say there's an advantage in that by itself.
But you wouldn't be snarky.
I would never be snarky like that ever. No, under no circumstances.
He's a very classy.
But yeah,
classy
it is a reasonably favorable schedule for the Cardinals. I mean, there's good competition, but it's not that bad. They do get Detroit, they do get Pittsburgh, and they do get the Royals 6 times. So there's some games there they can take advantage of.
Kevin, aside from the fact that the Cardinals will be playing all National League and American League Central teams, which seems like it would benefit you to play the smaller market teams overall, doesn't it also seem like, and this is kind of a semantics question, but you're the guy, doesn't it also seem like teams that aren't as deep would actually benefit from having this shorter season?
Yeah. I mean, one thing that the smaller sample size does is it levels the playing field a little bit. You don't have to be ready for the 162 game marathon, right? Most teams, the Cardinals will look at it and say they don't want to just have a 5-man rotation. They want to have 6 or 7 or 8 guys that they're comfortable with starting at the major league level when they start a season. And sure, one of them might be in the bullpen. A couple others will be down at Memphis the way that they normally would do it. Well, you don't have to get through 6 months anymore. They're only going to be, 5. If you're talking about a 5-man rotation, you're only going to get 12 times through the rotation. That's only about 75, 80, 85 innings for starting pitchers. And that's if they're getting a lot of innings every time they go out. So you're right. I think it does level the playing field. I think there are a couple of young teams where they won't have to be as careful with things like innings count or pitch count and innings limits and how much you're going to work those young players, where they can kind of let it go a little bit. And I think that's going to add a little bit of chaos, to be honest with you.
Kevin Wheeler, one last question before you let you go, because baseball is just full of romance. I've heard this so frequently. What's it going to take to get Albert Pujols back as the DH in the St. Louis Cardinals as his final season?
Oh man, that's a great question. Well, we'd have a little ways to go. I think what it's going to take is you're going to have to get him out of that personal services contract that he has with the Angels that runs for like 10 years after he retires. I'm not sure how that'll work, whether it's something you can get a waiver for or whatever.
What? You didn't laugh at me and say never going to happen. So in the words of a wise man, so you're saying there's a chance.
There's exactly the amount of chance that Lloyd Christmas had. Yeah.
I got it. That's all I need. I mean, for right now, that will get me through at least 2 more weeks of romantic dreaming about baseball. Kevin, thank you so much. Good to have you on, and good to break up our normal conversations here about all the stuff going on in the world with some things that take our mind off of the craziness, and we're always grateful to have you on.
Glad to do it. We got baseball coming, so we'll all be happy here soon.
So excited. Kevin, thanks. We'll talk to you again soon.
See ya.
Follow him on Twitter at Kevin Wheeler 94. He's also got a podcast. It's linked from his Twitter profile there. If you like Kevin, go check out his podcast, subscribe, and do me a favor, tweet at him and tell him thanks for coming on the Annie Frey Show. It's good to have him on. And I am so excited for baseball. It's like there are certain things in life that just cause me to just drop all of my standards, and having baseball back is one of them. I am like, you could pull the tape, and I probably have shouted on this show before about the DH in the NL. And I'm like, yeah, whatever. We just have 2 DHs. For in softball, you can have a courtesy runner for the pitcher and for the catcher. I think you can maybe pinch hit for either one of them. Let's just throw all caution to the wind. It'll be home run derby. I don't care. Put somebody in a baseball uniform on a field somewhere, and I will go watch them from the far, far, far away, because I don't think we can get in yet.
I tell you what, I've been really caught up in the drama of this whole negotiation going on. It wasn't until like this moment, talking to Kevin Wheeler, that I realized, wow, this is going to be a really fast season, and that's going to be fun, because every game is going to mean so much more. It really will be kind of a unique, fun thing.
We'll have something else to watch and see. And maybe if we divert our attention from the craziness inflicted upon our country right now, maybe that will actually have a real impact. And I believe that. I'm telling you right now, I think one of the biggest reasons why we are combusting as a country is because we have nothing else to do. So
amen.
Put all the DHs on the field and let them hit all over the place. Juice the ball. Do the steroids. Baseball, baseball, baseball.
Yes. Do the steroids.
Annie's drinking again. Some pistachios, they're going to my head.
It is a Wednesday, so.
No kidding. It's Wine Wednesday. Bottoms up, folks. All right. As Trump has some big press conference set up. Do we know what he's talking about?
No idea.
It looks kind of sizable. So hopefully maybe he'll squeeze it in before our show is over. Otherwise, I'm sure the Glover Show will update you on what is taking place. If they go live before our show is over, we will bring it back to you. Join us on our YouTube channel. We're approaching 800 subscribers. Thank you to each and every one of you who has subscribed so far. And we'll be back in just a minute. Don't go anywhere.
All right, the way you do things you do.
This is the Annie Frey Show. Interact with Annie on Facebook. The Annie Frey Show.
You know you could have been some money. And baby, you're so sweet.
You're listening to the Annie Frey Show live from the Air Comfort Service Heating and Cooling Studio. Air Comfort Service is proud to support Greater St. Louis Honor Flight. Sign your veteran up for the Honor Flight today at gsLhonorflight.org. And for free HVAC estimates, visit aircomfortservice.com.
What's your favorite 4-letter word? Chances are you've said it more than a few times with this social distancing, face mask wearing, staying at home world we live in. But at Compass Retirement Solutions, our 4-letter word of choice is hope. Hope for a better tomorrow. Hope that your retirement plans don't take a backseat. You've watched the market drop and maybe your retirement future feels a little uncertain right now. But all hope is not lost. Find out exactly how much risk you're still taking with your investments and find out how you may be able to save big on taxes while the market is down. Find out how having a written retirement plan just might give you the hope you've been looking for. Call the team today to set up a meeting, 314-373-1598, Compass Retirement Solutions, 314-373-1598. And for more on retirement planning, listen to Rethinking Retirement, Saturdays at 8 and 4 and Sundays at 11. Investments and services offered through Compass Retirement Group, a registered investment advisory in Missouri and Illinois. Investing involves risk, including the potential loss of principal. Compass Retirement Solutions does not provide tax advice.
Hi, this is Jay Farner, CEO of Rocket Mortgage. Making the right financial decisions has never been more important. We can help guide you to those right decisions now when they matter most. Mortgage rates are near historic lows. So when you call 8338-ROCKET or visit us at rocketmortgage.com to start your refinance, you'll be well on your way to saving money every month. The rate today on our 30-year fixed rate mortgage is 3.375%, APR 3.59%. Right now could be a great time for you to take some positive financial steps forward with a cash-out refinance from Rocket Mortgage, which could give you the boost that you're looking for. In addition, we may be able to help you refinance with little or no out-of-pocket costs. At Rocket Mortgage, we're committed to every client, every time, no exceptions, no excuses, giving you the best mortgage experience. Call us today at 8338-ROCKET or go to rocketmortgage.com to learn more.
Rates subject to change. Pay 1.875% fee to receive this discounted rate. Call for cost information and conditions. Equal housing lender. Licensed in all 50 states. NMLS number 3030.
Hi, this is Andrea from Best Buy Flooring. Are your floors old and worn out? We have all your flooring needs. Carpet, tile, vinyl, hardwood, and ceramic. Installed or cash and carry. Have it your way. Let our flooring specialist show you our 20,000 square foot showroom with 2 locations to serve you. Hazelwood, Missouri or O'Fallon, Illinois. And contractors, come on in. Best flooring, best selection, Best Buy Flooring.
Hey guys, Glover here from my very good friends at ThrottleNet. So if you ever listen to one of these recorded ads, listen to this one. A company can expect 232 targeted cyber attacks per year that results in 30 breaches. 24% of businesses hit with malware took a week or more to regain access to their data. Many businesses just flat go under. They are targeting small towns. They are targeting dentist offices. They are targeting big businesses. They're targeting government. You're going to get hit. Let me tell you about ThrottleNet. ThrottleNet has saved their clients more than $2.6 million in ransom last year alone. And get this. ThrottleNet clients have never paid a dime in ransomware. Let me say that again. They've never paid a dime because they are protected. No contracts. Leave anytime you want. You have to check these guys out. You'll find them at throttlenet.com to protect your business, to protect everything you have. Go to throttlenet.com.
There's a lot of unknown in the world, but one thing is always certain. Cash is king, and there's never been a better time in history for a cash out refinance. Imagine dropping your mortgage payment a couple $100 a month, skipping 2 full months of mortgage payments, paying off all your high interest rate credit card debt, and filling up your savings account with cash. Get pre-approved for your cash out refinance today. TheHomeLoanExpert.com. The Home Loan Expert LLC, NMLS number 1326241.
The Mark Cox Morning Show.
Joe Biden raised more money than President Trump. Is it ever incumbent upon the media to put these things in perspective when you compare it to the overall amount of money the president has raised?
Well, the day that ends in Y, so why would they start now?
Weekday mornings 5 to 9.
Can't explain all the feelings that you're making me feel. My heart's in overdrive and you're behind the steering wheel. Touching you, touching me, touching you, got to touch you.
Saw that article late last night, sent it to Katie on Twitter, and some ungodly hour. Hogan Gidley has been named the press secretary for the Trump campaign. I was like, Kayleigh McEnany just got in there because the article even said replacing Kayleigh McEnany, but Kayleigh McEnany used to be the press secretary for the Trump campaign. Now she's the press secretary for the administration. And since she vacated the campaign press secretary position, our boy Hogan Gidley, I don't know if we're allowed to say that. I feel like
he's on
Secret
all the
Service,
time. We get to say it.
It's going to come through the door right now. But Hogan Gidley, who's been on our show many times, is now the press secretary for the Trump campaign.
Very cool.
So let's get him on. Yeah. But I'm also like, but he was our guy.
That's true.
In the
Is
White
he
House.
not our guy anymore
I
now?
hope we still have that kind of access to him because, I mean, it's not like he was super available, but he always made time to come on the show when he had that time. And so now I'm like, oh man, I hope he's just not like booked and busy.
Well, you know,
constantly.
the Hatch Act is where since Hogan Gidley was the deputy press secretary for the United States, for the president of the United States, he's with the president, has been for the last 5 years, I think it was. and he's with him in the room. He's part of these huge conversations. So he's always a great guest to have on. He is now going to be on the campaign side. The Hatch Act says that since he is part of the administration, he cannot come on and use his position as somebody who's working for the administration. He can't use that as an opportunity to campaign. So when we would have Hogan Gidley on, we can't be like, Joe Biden won't come out of his basement and he can't string a sentence together. How in the world is Donald Trump going to struggle beating Joe Biden? Well, he can't talk about campaign issues. We would ask him, questions about maybe what the elected Democrats are proposing and how the administration is going to work with them. But the Hatch Act separates campaigning from administrating. Now he is going over to the side of campaigning. So I'm sure he'd still be happy to come on with us and participate, but at the same time, it'll just be a different conversation.
Mm-hmm.
He's actually more free to talk now.
Yeah.
I just don't know if he's still in the room in the same capacity.
As long as he doesn't Kayleigh McEnany us, because now we're Kayleigh McEnany's hollaback girl.
Kayleigh, I don't know what that means, but Kayleigh McEnany used to come on our show all the time too.
Yes.
So
Right.
It's cool.
I wonder if we could, she could still come on, couldn't she?
I think so, but I mean, I think she could still come on the shows, but again, it's like their schedule is just insane. There's been times with Hogan.
You're saying
that
they're busy?
Yeah, very busy.
Too busy for the anniversary.
There's been times with Hogan that
we did
he
an
had
entire
to,
segment about what your favorite nuts are.
Yeah, where they had to blow us off because they're like, yeah, we were just actually had like an emergency meeting in the White House with Trump, and so we couldn't make that time, but we'll make another time work with you. I'm like, oh, okay.
Ed Watero on our Facebook Live says being a press secretary looks like completely miserable work. Takes a special person to fill that role. Do you think we watch these press secretaries quite a bit. Do you think it looks miserable?
Uh-huh.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah, there's serious burnout in that job too. They can only do it for a year or maybe two max.
So Trump is speaking now from the White House. Katie, you want to pot that up and we can see what's going on here?
Sure.
Visit to Poland 3 years ago. That was an amazing event. We had an event because it was a speech, and a lot of people watched that speech. But it was a very historic moment and an important moment for our two countries. The American and Polish people enjoy one of the world's oldest, strongest, and most enduring friendships. Polish patriots battled by our side to secure American independence. American and Polish warriors fought and died together to defeat the Nazis. In World War II, the United States stood shoulder to shoulder with Poland in its courageous struggle against communist oppression. Our bond has been forged in battle, sealed in blood, and strengthened by our shared cultural values. The United States and Poland are united by our firm conviction that Western civilization is advanced, really, and very much advanced. I think I have to add the cause of human progress beyond measure, and that it must be strongly defended and will at all times be strongly defended, and we will defend it together. In our meeting today, President Duda and I reaffirmed the vital alliance between our nations. Last year, we signed 2 joint declarations to increase our security collaboration. And we look forward to signing a defense cooperation agreement. Poland recently purchased 32 brand new state-of-the-art F-35 fighter jets, the best in the world. And Poland is one of only 8 NATO members. The others, some of them haven't done so well in terms of what they're supposed to be paying to NATO. I tell them all the time, and we've gotten them up a lot, but not enough. But Poland is one of only 8 that is current with the money that they are supposed to be paying. That's the 2%. 2% is a very low number, but we have a large number of countries that haven't paid. They're delinquent. Let's put it that way. They're delinquent with respect to their dues, the money they're supposed to be paying for.
So the president speaking
defense.
From is it the Rose Garden at the White House? Yep. And press conference there, standing next to the leader from Poland. And we were just discussing off air. I wonder if the president, if he takes questions, then obviously this will go in the direction that these things tend to go. He could do a press conference about how finding the cure to coronavirus, and Jim Acosta would be like, so tell me why it is that only 8,000 people showed up to your Tulsa rally. Why do you suck? And then that would devolve into what a normal press conference devolves into. I wonder if he is getting back to the business of being the president of the United States. If he had somebody in from a different country before coronavirus hit, they'd do a sit down in the Oval Office or maybe a press conference in a different room, and they would talk. They'd go back and forth. Whatever the news of the time was, they would maybe discuss it. Then they'd take questions back and forth. So, Katie's going to be listening to this a little bit to see if any news happens. I'm watching on Twitter too to see if anybody makes a statement here. But it seems as though, especially with his trip to Arizona to go to the border wall and this press conference and some of the other things he's talking about, reinvesting in his DACA pursuit, maybe he's trying to make things go back to normal, dare I say. I feel like I can't even say that. I feel like someone's going to gasp.
It's amazing how much, when you think about how much has happened in this last 4 years, and you could say a lot of it's how much Trump has gotten accomplished. But every single one of these things that we think about in the moment, we think, well, this will probably affect the election, but it's almost election time, and we're not talking about any of it. I mean, we're talking about tax reform, him moving the embassy to Jerusalem in Israel, killing Soleimani. I mean, we're talking about stuff, and like he's just mentioning, funding NATO. We were talking about that quite a bit a couple years ago. None of this stuff is on the radar at all in the election year.
Yeah. But, police reform is a big conversation that's taking place right now. And we saw Tim Scott put together that police reform. He led it. And the Democrats have said that the Republicans are just trying to appear as though they're doing something. They just want the visual of effort. They don't want actual substance. Tim Scott tweeted out today at noon, I offer Democrats the chance to offer at least 20 amendments. He said they walked out. He tweeted, don't let anyone convince you this was about debates or amendments. It's about politics and a refusal to find a solution. He tweets, because I realized it wasn't that being offered today. It was who was offering it. House Democrats offered Republicans no amendment opportunities. Senate Republicans offered Democrats at least 20. You get sick and tired of being played. And don't you just assume now, whenever any politician is talking, that they're lying to you? If you look at Tim Scott, the only Black Republican in the Senate, he was tasked, and I'm sure asked for the opportunity to lead this effort on behalf of the Republicans' part. He put together a very thoughtful process, puts it out there in front for police reform. They go and extend an offer to Democrats to offer 20 amendments. I don't know what the specificity of those amendments are. All you hear from Democrats right now is that Republicans were only trying to look good in their action. We want to look like we're doing something. I'll tell you what, folks, whenever there is gun violence in this country, the Democrats do the same thing. They start proposing all of these ridiculous gun control solutions, and every common sense, living, breathing American looks at that, whether they're personally gun owners or not, and they go, well, how are your gun laws going to be obeyed by criminals? And the person who just decided to go shoot people because they're deranged, sick, evil individuals, why would your gun law stop them from obtaining a firearm illegally? We're not dumb. Politics is a show, and I'm not buying tickets to it. You look at what Tim Scott is saying here. I believe Tim Scott. He has no reason to try to put himself and his name on this and go towards Democrats and say, what can we do here? Offer them 20 different amendment opportunities. They shut him down because what would be the worst possible thing? What would be the worst possible solution to come out of the turmoil and tension that this country has right now is a Black Republican in the Senate leading the charge on police reform. Democrats can't allow that to happen. So they stopped it today. Keep paying attention, folks. Keep sticking with us here on the Annie Frey Show, noon to 3 every weekday, streaming live on radio.com. If you missed anything, if you want to hear what Kevin Wheeler said at 2:25, just pop open that radio.com app and hit rewind, and you can hear the whole thing. Really cool opportunity there. You can also subscribe to the Annie Frey Show podcasts on the radio.com app or wherever you get your podcast from. Go subscribe to us on YouTube. I am going to go to the Pixie Dust Podcast Facebook page here in a little bit, and we are going to stream live our next podcast with Erica about the latest openings. A lot of news coming out. So if you're a Disney fan, go to the Pixie Dust Podcast Facebook page and like it. If you're not, see you tomorrow. Dave Glover coming up next.
So beat the drum with me.
It's one thing to be stuck in your house due to COVID.